Well, mate, thanks for coming down.
Hello.
Or up, I should say. Thanks for making trek.
Right, that's the one.
So you've got quite a bit going on at the moment.
Yeah, I've got quite a lot in pipeline. Yeah, I suppose.
So
Right.
May last year you left Bigfoot,
Yeah,
and then in December you joined. How do you pronounce this band's name?
Regression.
Oh, it is Regresion, right? Because I had one S and I was confused.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
So, but they're from Spain, is it?
that's true.
And they're based in Spain.
Yep.
So how on earth did that come about?
Well, to be fair, I got an email and the guy was saying that their singer was thinking of hanging up his boots, and the band wanted to take a different direction. These Spanish singers and stuff, they sound great. To be fair, I love them. I mean, I like anything sort of dramatic and sort of like, like just fireworks everywhere on a gig, like, anyway. But like they've got all the, like, the fist pumps and stuff like that, and I think they're fantastic. But they said that they wanted to try an English route, lyrics wise and singing wise.
A bit more of a universal sort of
Yeah,
thing.
because as they felt it was a little bit more accepted in Europe, to be fair.
So all their songs were in Spanish.
Yeah, basically.
Right. So what's the task for you? Have you got to sing? What about those old songs? How are you gonna?
Well, them old songs at this moment in time, I've already translated about 6 of them.
Right.
But the thing is, with the Spanish language, it's like one word can change the whole sentence. So when I translated it, obviously using Google Translate, because I'm not that clever.
Yep.
I what's it called? I looked at them, and some of these lyrics were just ridiculous, like in English, like silly lyrics, like, So I just said to the lads, I went, well, Bart looks at things they've not translated that well, so I'm going to try and I'm going to listen. I'm going to get your subject matter, and I'm going to rewrite it all to what I think's just about right, trying to cover.
Well, you've got to sing it at the end of the day, so it's got to come out right for you, hasn't it?
Well, that is also a good point as well, but. Like I said, I don't like ripping anyone else's song to bits.
No.
At the same time,
you've got to make it work.
At the same time, yeah.
You're not Spanish at the end of the day.
If it were going to work, that's what we have at meet halfway, sort of thing. So they all agreed, and everything went ahead. I'm just in the middle of writing some new songs with them now.
Ah, right, yeah. Skype songwriting sessions.
Yeah. Well, Skype and all. I mean, to be fair, I'm just recording videos. He sends me something, a riff, and says, "I've got this idea and that idea," and I then listen to it and I think, right, where's his verse? Where's this? Where's that? Of what he's thinking. So then I will usually do a recorded video of the what's it called, the actual track, playing in the background, and I'll say, I think this is your verse, this is that, this is this, and then I'll ask him then to obviously like sort of put me straight on what's what and what he's thinking, and then we work together and sort of eventually that will become a song. So
right. So how much did you have to think about this before you just agreed to do it?
To be honest, I didn't need to think about it, to be fair, because from what they were telling me, they've got a really good agent behind them. He sounds like he works his absolute arse off, to be fair. So I didn't give it much thought, to be honest. I thought, well, I think sometimes it's good to sort of be away from band members at times. It's sort of like extra stuff what you don't need in the pan. You can still songwrite and stuff like that, and it keeps it nice and fresh, like when you see each other, considering we're over water sort of thing.
Are they kind of band that tours a lot generally?
From what I've seen, they've done a lot. They've done a lot of big festivals in front of a lot of people, from what I've seen on social media and stuff like that. But again, it all came down to this. I think every time they've sort of attempted to go out and try and do a proper tour, obviously some of these promoters have said to them, well, it's not quite something that we'd have on this gig, or we'd not have,
if it had been in English,
hence why, they've sort of recruited myself, and we're cracking on at minute, so,
So have they spoke? Did you have to have a online meeting with them beforehand or something before you actually agree to it?
I had a quick chat with the manager / agent, and he explained a few things, obviously, to me. I can't say that I didn't want to sort of jump at the chance at the fact that I'll be going over to Barcelona every 2 minutes as well. I mean, I think anybody would be daft at not. They're only 10 minutes away from the beach, which is it's a bonus. You know what I mean?
I'm in.
Tony, if you're listening to this, you know what I mean. No, like I said, he talked to me and explained a few things to me, what they had in the pipeline sort of thing, working on anyway. They have a lot of meetings over there, obviously without myself for, you know, the obvious reasons. But you know, after that I started speaking to Tony, which is the guitar player who I'm writing the songs with. And you know, like I said, we started chatting. We got along like an house on fire straight away. You know, so I can't knock it really. It's pretty ideal sort of situation from what I'm in right now with my personal life as well, that sort of thing. So, you know, it's taking all the good bits and leaving out all the shit, I think, to be fair.
Yeah, so when you left Bigfoot, did you have a plan musically then?
No, if I'm truthful, no, I didn't. I didn't want to have a plan either.
Right.
To be honest, I sort of
when I was in Bigfoot for like nearly 4 years.
Yeah. We did
full on.
We did a while together. Yeah, we had a good few tours and stuff. Yeah. But when I left Bigfoot, I just sort of I was a little bit exhausted, if I'm honest with you. But I mean, for a number of reasons.
Because it always looked like it was a fun band. You always looked like you were having a good crack and that.
Well, yeah, we did, and we sort of, you know, we went to places where we could have fun cracks and stuff. But you know, like I said, I was exhausted towards the end as such, and I just thought, to be honest, I just need to sort of pull out and rethink,
reassess things.
Yeah, basically
for your own well-being, really.
Well, that's what it came down to.
You got to put yourself first.
Yeah. You see, it's always sort of tough leaving any band. I mean, I know it's always been tough for myself. Anyway, I've sort of, you know, every time if I've joined bands in the past and stuff, I put 110% in.
Well, it's bittersweet because you guys put a lot of work into it over those 4 years. The band progressed a lot.
Yeah.
Were you there? Was that the beginning of Bigfoot then?
Yeah.
Right. So who was the founding members of Bigfoot?
Well, the founding members, to be honest, were probably, well, I'd say it's Sam and Mick to be like founding members. Right. But obviously, I was recruited then.
Have you been in many bands before that?
Yeah. I've been in about 2 or 3 before that, to be honest. But obviously, a couple of them fizzled out. And you know, like, bands are bands, so you know, you go through that sort of thing where you think, well, I'm not agreeing with this, and you're not agreeing with that, and you know, in the end, it just becomes a bit sort of.
Well, it's not fun.
Well, that's it. It becomes a big mess after a bit. So that's when you turn around and say to yourself, right, enough's enough.
Yeah. So did you audition for Bigfoot then?
Technically, yeah and no.
Did they know of you?
They already contacted me, so they sent me a message and invited me down. Right. It wasn't really an audition, because if there was an audition, there would have been other singers there, and there weren't. So they just, you know, as you do, like from the scene, oh, I know a guy, oh, I know this, blah, 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 blah. And we sort of started to write together. And to be honest, you know, I think, to be fair, back in them days, I much preferred us, to be honest.
Right.
I preferred us back then, again, for loads of different reasons. But I much preferred us in the earlier days.
So how many recordings did you do while you were in the band? Was it just the one?
Well, we did 2 EPs, didn't we? And we did the album as
album
well.
Was self-titled
album.
But
we also did a small demo as well right at the beginning.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So, you know, that...
Because I remember I toured with Mick back in the day in his old band, Fire in the Empire. I've still got the T-shirt.
Yeah.
But in Preston, we played... Our first few gigs were in Preston, outside of Cumbria. And one of them was Massive Wagons, the other one was Fire in the Empire.
Yeah.
They were quite a very heavy band.
Yeah, he was into all that metal stuff, to be fair. I mean, I love it. I can't say I don't.
Yeah.
To be honest.
What kind of music were you sort of brought up on? What were your first bands that you got into?
My first bands, technically, I mean, it's probably Nickelback and stuff, but they weren't the bands that sort of made me who I am today, really. I mean, I don't know where I got some of them stage moves from. I'll be honest with you. And before anyone says it, it were Jack Black. I swear to God.
Yeah, I'd heard people say that before, but
I was moving about, and then I thought, oh, I've got something originally, and I know it's been done there. Oh, for Christ's
what hasn't been
sake.
done these days?
I
though?
know, but
You
that's
can't.
it. And I was just like, oh fuck.
The only
man.
thing you and Jack Black have got a common is stage presence in general. I would say.
Well,
from,
a lot of
from seeing you both perform.
Well, this is it. But I think it's just a go-to, isn't it?
Well,
Sometimes, like
But,
which is nothing wrong with. That's what if I remind you.
It's almost a bit like the stage banter in between is almost like part of like a comedy routine.
Yeah.
Because some bands are a bit more serious, and other bands it's like just have a laugh. Do you know what I mean?
it was
Both
fun.
work.
I sort of did it was a bit of both worlds, really. Like I said, I've always been very serious when it comes to anything to do with bands. I just sort of, because I love what I do. I love going up, and Ozzy Osbourne said once, he said, like, it's my job to go out there and to make sure that at the end of that gig, that crowd is on fire. It's my job. It's not the guitarist's job. It's not the bassist. It's the singers, and it's my job. And I always took that information away, and I thought that is a really good interpretation of what a singer is about.
Yeah. Well, most eyes are on you anyway. So.
Well, that is it. But like I said, I felt it more responsibility of mine to the band to do that. So hence why I sort of started going a bit more, turning it up a gear a few years back like this. Now, to be fair, I turned it up a gear and started sweating buckets on the stage and stuff like that.
Running around.
Yeah, but it worked.
Yeah.
So. That's like I said, it was a bit of both worlds. I used my initiative to actually crack on and do something with myself, but at the same time, this came across really sort of quite entertaining, but it was fun as well. It was great to see people's reactions to it.
That came across as well.
That's
you could see it.
And it bounced between both of us, you know what I mean, like crowd and myself, and and the rest of the lads who were in band at the time and stuff.
Did you play guitar as well?
Yeah, I could play a guitar.
Have you played guitar in any previous bands? Have you always just been a singer?
I played it I had a 3-piece years ago.
Right.
But again, that fizzled out. We did a couple of pubs and clubs and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've always said to myself, like, I can songwrite, no worries, like, I can turn around and say, I've got this idea, but I can't play it for note, basically. Can you? And I'll always have to set a guitar. Can you get where I'm going with this? But I've always, like I said, I've always blinky plonked on my acoustic. I know all my chords and stuff, but I just can't play any of them fucking twiddles and stuff like that.
Me
So
neither.
and every time it's like, oh, bloody hell, sort of thing.
But so, did you ever want to be a singer and play at the same time?
No. I think, no, actually, I tell a lie. No, I did do it at one point, but I rethought it, to be fair, because back then, obviously, when I was in that 3-piece, I thought, well, I might be able to do this. This is all right. I'm getting a bit better at lead, and I'm getting the But to be honest, I sort of excelled a bit more just being a singer and being an entertainer.
Yeah.
Well,
you can do more without the guitar, can't you?
And a few more. And I had better reactions for that than what I did for playing a guitar. People always said, I prefer you singing because of the fact that I don't like the fact that you stuck behind that guitar. And I said, that's a fair point, that, to be honest, Yeah. So then after a bit, I made a decision and I said, like, I can't be arsed. I'll just be a singer.
Plus, when you were in Bigfoot, you had 2 phenomenal guitar players as well.
Well, yeah, they're both very good, aren't they?
Very good. They complement each other well. I think their sound works well.
Yeah, they're good. They're good. They play really well with each other. Yeah.
So, like, in terms of going into Regresion, what do you now bring to that band? What's your general skill set?
Well, I suppose in all fairness, like I said, they hunted me down because of the fact that I'm English, and for what they're saying that they wanted.
Yeah.
So there was, like I said, there's method in madness there. But I mean, I think I think because I was a bit younger as well, to be honest.
They're a bit older than you.
I hope it's that. I mean, the guy, the guy who I'm filling in for. I mean, he's got a fantastic voice, an unbelievable voice, to be fair.
Yeah, listen, there's a bit of a similarity as well. Lots of powerful held notes I noticed on some of the songs.
Yeah.
You do some of that as well.
He challenged me on a couple of some of the notes and stuff like that when he were doing it, and I thought to myself, he's fucking good, this guy, to be fair, So I had my work cut out for me anyway.
Decent sized boots to fill.
Yeah, he was. He really was. He was top of his game, to be fair. But for whatever reason, he obviously had to hang his boots up. I know a couple, but obviously not say on here.
Yeah, no.
But like I said, I think truthfully they just they'd known me from Bigfoot. We played in Madrid, and they came watching us.
Ah, right.
All a couple of members, and they said, "Oh, we've seen this guy, such and such thing, blah 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 blah." And then obviously that all came out of me leaving the band, and then they sort of just jumped basically and asked me if I wanted to join.
When did you get the offer versus how long you actually decided to accept it?
I couldn't give you a date, but it was only a few weeks. It was like a week or two before everything was finalised and stuff like that. Because they flew me over, and we, they looked after me and stuff. Put me up and all that. We had a jam. However, obviously on that jam, because I'd not sung for a little while, my voice went after about. They booked it for about 5 hours, and I was just I sort of turned right away, how long, sort of thing, and they went, "What is this? Is this not good?" I said, "Well, I'll do it, but I can't say my voice will do it." But we went over these songs, and we did a couple of covers as well, because obviously people we know them at least, and we did the full stint. And everyone was happy by the end of it. And I told lads, I said, because I'm big on harmonies as well. I love harmonies.
Vocal harmonies.
Yeah, I just love them. I love 3 and 4 part harmonies. Yeah. They're just excellent.
Powerful, aren't they?
Yeah, they're strong every time.
Add a lot of colour to songs, especially like choruses and that.
Yeah. And I noticed in their sound, a lot of bands do it these days, and I think it sort of takes away from what that song could be sometimes, if they don't learn how to work these harmonies out properly and stuff, if they don't actually do their own work.
You can end up sounding a bit one-dimensional,
your song could be 10 times better just because of the fact that you've actually sat at a piano and worked these chords out. So, like I said, I could hear in their sound that they were doing a lot of these 2-part harmonies, and that, everyone. There's not many people who can't do a 2-part harmony. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
You just get an idea of that sounds good, and then you crack on, don't you?
I only just got into that. Our Destruction Complete, our last EP, was the first one where we did vocal harmonies, because we used Marc Ellis at Access Studios in Doncaster, and the second time we went there, he mentioned it about vocal harmonies, and I was like, yeah, maybe. But then the third time, he was really persistent. He's like, no, you should. This was before we went. He's like, you should really. Some of your songs would lend themselves to really cool harmonies. So we got together, and it's actually Steve, our drummer. Have you heard our song "Save Yourself"?
I think I have. Yeah, actually.
That's got super vocal harmonies on the chorus, which it didn't have when I wrote it. But Steve had the idea. He had the melody in his head. Just came to his head.
Yeah.
So we just went and tried it, and I was just straight. I was like, wow. I suddenly got it.
Yeah,
I got why people go mad for vocal harmonies.
They do, mate. They do. And it's like I've always sort of stuck by a chord of that. Everyone sings in the band,
if they can.
Well, that's it. But I've always even
should have a try. Though.
Anyone who I've ever come across who said I don't sing, I've always got some sight of them.
It's usually the case that they haven't really tried.
Well, that's
They're
it.
Got scared of it.
That's it. Yeah. Or for
which
whatever
we all were
reason,
at one point, weren't we?
That's it. Yeah. They never needed to, or whatever,
Yeah.
And it's worth training your voice because of that reason. Because
what it can add to the band.
Yeah. Correct.
And your songwriting as well.
That's it. I mean, it could. I always used to tell them just start off with a bit of humming, and then after that, just. I used to always offer my own time to them as well, and say I will literally sit there beside you, because obviously when you sing along to a record, it's like holding someone's hand, almost like stabilizers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I used to set it, lads. I'll do it, and then what I'll do halfway through, I'm going to pull out, and then you hold it after that.
Yeah.
So then they could get used to how their muscles are working and how their voice works. And that they do have control over it, and they can sing.
You get confidence from it as well.
That's it.
So what's your normal approach to songwriting? Do you normally play guitar to help write songs, or is it normally just come up with melody ideas and stuff, lyric ideas?
All sorts.
Yeah.
All sorts of different ways for me. And to be honest, you know, like sometimes you can come up with a full track of your own, and you've got all these chords. I mean, like I've always stuck to a certain sort of structure in most of my songs and stuff. It's like a, you know, it's sort of like tested and proven that it works and stuff like that. You know, I don't go too long before I go to my choruses. You know, I usually have a middle section in it, and then there's a big solo and all that. But when it comes to the actual writing of the parts and stuff, I think I sort of treat it like it's building a house. Once you've got the structure of where you're going with things, and you've got the chords of the verse, and the chorus, pre-chorus, middle 8, middle 16, whatever, solo and the rest and all that, I think after that it starts writing itself for me. You know, if things
come naturally.
Yeah,
don't
they do. Yeah, you can hear what it's crying out for.
Yeah,
you know, you you play along and you get to your first chorus, and then you think, right, well, I've done that. That's now technically boring. That's how I treat it. So anything after, if you try it like that again, you're sort of doing yourself a disservice there. So, but you don't have to sort of go mental and change the whole thing. It's just a little something, just something else, just like anything, you know, like an offbeat or something that just catches your ear off guard, and you go, "Whoa, that were different," and that takes you through to your second chorus, and then your middle 8 is a completely different chord sequence or whatever, or a different rhythm, and so on and so on and so on and so on. Basically.
So in Bigfoot, were you left to your own devices as far as the actual lyrics went? Was that pretty much down to you?
No, but it depended really. To be fair, I used to write songs quite a lot. Sam used to, and then obviously we'd bring it together and stuff. But that was pretty much it, really.
But lyrics, for the lyric side of it?
Yeah.
Okay, right. Because more often than not, I find that usually it's the singer who takes care of the lyrics most. But in Bigfoot, was a bit more of a group effort then, do you think?
I'd say no on that as well, to be fair.
Right.
But I'd agree with you there, Mark. You know what I mean? That it usually is the singer that takes over that. But
not always, because Ozzy Osbourne didn't do lyrics.
No, I know what you
Bruce
mean.
Dickinson either. Steve Harris did most of the lyrics.
Well, what I mean is, like I said, I think in a lot. I think the singer technically should have a hold on those on that department anyway,
especially because they've got to deliver it.
Correct.
So.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And if they've got an idea to put across, you know, it should be really, in my eyes, sort of, you know, listened to or whatever. Yeah. You know, I mean, I'm always for sort of everyone chipping in their own way.
It should be whatever's best for the song, really, shouldn't it? It shouldn't be about anything else. It should be,
but I mean, that's when you get personal opinions coming in, don't you, as well?
Yeah.
You know, and that's when sort of problems start arising, don't they?
But you learn these things, don't you?
You do.
It's part of the whole thing.
It is. This is it. And obviously, sometimes you have to agree to disagree and stuff. Yeah. And it's what it is. I
mean, I remember sometimes for us compromising on like a solo or a lyric sometimes, and then later listen to the song a few months after we've done it, going, I'm glad we did that in the end. Sometimes not, but you know, sometimes it was.
Well, that's it.
Just never know.
I used to do it myself. You know, it's like I said. You know, if I had an issue with something, you know, and a month later I came back to it, and I thought, it's not too bad actually.
Yeah.
But I think it depends on what side of bed you wake up in. The
Well, yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, but at the same time, you've got to listen to that gut feeling when it comes to the writing and stuff.
I think sometimes you've got to try and be honest with each other. Like, if someone's shooting your idea down, you've got to think, is he shooting it down because it's mine, or is he shooting it down because he thinks it's not good enough and we could do better?
Well, that's it.
You know
yeah,
I mean?
and it all
the longer you're with someone, the better.
Correct.
You do
yeah,
that.
And I think as well, also, like, it's one of them as well. Like when you were talking about Steve Harris and people like that, it's very clear that it's Steve Harris's band that you made, and you know, and this is the reason why he has such a big hold over it.
Yeah.
However, obviously, if you come from a place of when your band starts off as we all do this equally and stuff, and it comes out as if like, towards the end, as if like, you know, so, like say someone's taking the reins a bit too much, or for someone else's liking and stuff.
Yeah.
That's when it gets a bit confusing, you know. And that's what I mean. That sort of.
You've got to look after yourself at the end of
Of course
the day.
you do, yeah.
If you're not happy in a situation, something's got to change, isn't it? So.
Well, that's exactly the point, isn't it? You know, that's exactly where it all sort of ends up, like, you know. So, yeah.
So when you joined this new band, did they have new 2019 pretty much planned out, or?
They've got a plan. I'm not going to announce anything as such yet.
But
there's 2 days.
They pretty much filled you in on what.
Yeah,
what
they're thinking and stuff. And it's really good stuff. I mean, you know, there's tours.
They play some good festivals and that.
Yeah, yeah, they've got some good contacts. There's no doubt about it. They've got plans for all sorts. You know, we've got these 2 shows coming up, which is my first appearance with them.
Yeah, when's your debut? Where at?
My debut is in Madrid.
Right.
So it's not exactly, you know.
It's quite exciting. And nerve-wracking at the same time.
Yeah, you can't go down motorway anyway. But no.
So it's in March, isn't it?
Yeah. That's it. It's in March, but it was originally going to be Barcelona, which is also in March on the 16th. But the band that we're playing with are called Zenobia, and they're like a big band over there, basically.
Right.
And they've got this song where some English fellas sang on it, basically, and it's supposed to be it's an hit, apparently, with their fans. So they've asked me if I'll sing those parts for that particular song.
Cool.
Whilst we're out on these 2 dates with them, to which I said yeah, obviously, and that then pushed my debut to the day before. In Madrid, so it's on the 15th now. So
that means you'll be more prepared for the 16th, though.
Oh yeah, I'm not complaining, me mate. You know what I mean? They're all good gigs, to be fair.
I know, but so it's like it's also this whole situation is a bit like pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I was a little bit nerved by it. Unnerved, if that's the word, isn't it? Sorry.
Yeah, unnerved.
Because it was a big step. You know, I came from a band that, you know, was seen as doing well round here and stuff.
They did some gigs in Europe with them, Bigfoot.
Yeah, we did a couple. Yeah,
did Ibiza and all that?
Yeah, we did. The ones with the clips are probably the best ones in Europe, to be fair. But and there was Ibiza as well. Yeah. But like I said, we never really broke out as such. You know, I personally, I mean, I would have thought it would have been better to hit some of the, like, where you get these sort of like gigs where there's guaranteed bodies, you know, like a festival or a little town do.
Well, that's like what we did with Absolver.
Yeah,
they sort of tour there all the time, and they built up this, and they just took us
that's
under
what
our
I mean.
wing, took us out for a few
I mean,
dates
there's
in
no
Europe.
point. From what we were doing and stuff, there weren't enough bodies there for capture.
Yeah,
that's what it was. Who'd not heard us before.
Good for the experience, though.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's great, you know what I mean. But I mean, how much ale can you drink and stuff?
Well,
like
that's
that? Do you know? And
especially when you've got a few
trying
shows
to get
in a
a
row
job
to do.
done. You know what I mean? That's sort of my thinking with it, really. To be fair, but yeah, you know, what was I talking about now?
Just how you've progressed into that band and their plans for this year and the things that they've got, festivals as well.
Well, like I said, they've got loads. Like they have a lot of meetings over there, and
will you be going out there for rehearsals before?
Yeah, probably
your debut.
Not as much going out as to a rehearsal. No, I do the 15th and the 16th of March. Then I'm in Barcelona for a week, whilst we record some songs.
Right. Is this like just some demos or?
Well, yeah, these will be properly
pre-production stuff.
Yeah. Just so then they can give them out to the fans, obviously. Yeah. But like I said, there's so much going on. To be fair, you know, and like I said, I was unnerved by it because it was a big step. Just sort of like, yeah, well, you know, I'll just jump on a plane and I'll just go over there and I'll, you know. Yeah. But I came back in one piece, so it's not so bad.
It's the kind of thing, if you can do it. You know, you probably regret not doing it more than you would doing it.
Yeah, and like I said, there's some of the things that the planning. I'm hoping that it does come off. They sound like they know what they're doing, and it just puts my face in front of different
This is
people.
what I was going to say. Even if it doesn't work, which I hope it does, it still elevates you and like it's beefed up your CV in terms of the career that you would hope to have. You know, these are the opportunities that you've just got to take. If you really want to do it.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Because you might as well just quit if you turn that down. You might as well just quit.
I understand what you mean. To be fair, because I think there was a bit more of England to sort of take over with Bigfoot and stuff. But
I mean, they're still doing really well.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're coming from though with it as such. It's like, so if I was going to go anywhere, it would have had to have been abroad, just sort of just for
maybe
a
not
brand
necessarily.
new crowd.
It depends if the right band came up over here. You just never know. But in terms of opportunity, how many opportunities like that would you actually likely to get in your life?
Well, that's it. That is true as well, yeah.
And like I was saying before, I think there is always something for you pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and just doing something different because you never know what might come of it, and you're obviously going to learn something from it.
Well, that's it. This is it.
And it'll develop you as a front man even more.
Well, this is also very true as well. I mean, that all I'm thinking. Like I said, I saw something and I thought that sounds all right. I listened to them.
It's all right. Sat here in pipe and slippers. I might as well go and do something.
This is Anthony's thinking. Yeah, that's not too bad. Only it's 10 minutes away from beach.
What did your family think when you spoke to them about it?
They didn't think much. It was pretty easy going, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like, they sort of like, well, what you going to do for work? And I said, well, not so bad because I work on a bank, so because I pick
You're
and
not
choose
going to be
my
away that
shifts.
much, will you?
Not really, no. But it's,
So
it's more, mainly for. I mean, obviously, because you got to keep a roof over your head as well, haven't you? And stuff.
Well,
You got to make it work.
The battle is the time off work versus paying the bills.
Of course it is, and I work long days. Really long days, you know what I'm saying? So I'd have to do a lot of work beforehand to gain that money, so then I can have that time off.
Are they all right with giving you time off though? Generally,
well, they can't stop me really. To be fair,
what are you gonna do? I'm going anyway.
It's a bank, so I can pick and choose my shifts as it comes, and I don't even have to work if I don't want to.
Oh well,
So, that's
fair enough.
enough.
But I mean, yeah, because that's one of our main, as a musician, one of your main, especially when you're working, is trying to get time. Especially if there was five of you in Bigfoot, the more people there is, the more difficult it is for everyone to get.
Oh,
time
it
off.
is.
It's like a
And
minefield, isn't it?
the thing is, it's opened up a new sort of because it's not just Regresion as well. I've got this new band coming up, and I'm still trying to sort it all out.
Oh right, I didn't know about this.
Yeah, well, you won't really. I keep
So
everything.
you're on the piano doing something called the Fire Within or something.
Yeah, that's one of my own. Yeah.
Right. So is that something to do with this other
Well,
project?
I've got the Spanish group, and I've got my own group that I want to bring out as well, like an English group.
So you're already doing that before you got the Regression offer?
Yeah, basically.
Okay, right,
yeah.
right.
And I was hoping, like I said, I want to try and bounce the two between them both, basically.
So the other one's a bit more obviously close to you, so you can just.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I mean, I'm having a bit of trouble trying to get some solid members together, like as
That's
such.
another battle, isn't it?
This is it. We just lost a bass player, and it's.
You're like, I thought I was over all this shit.
I know, it's terrible. I know.
It's like those when you were a teenager.
I'm
you're like,
like,
Steve's not coming.
for God's sake! It's a thing like that.
But
Well,
you
it's
get
a
to the
good
point.
la-
It gets to the point where you're like, how hard is it to get 4 people to just meet once a fucking week
I know, man.
for more than 2 weeks in a row?
It's like I said. I mean, but the thing is, this has opened up a brand new sort of like how can I say, like bloody keg of rotten apples, because it's there's kids involved now. We're getting to that part in our lives as well.
Oh, you've got kids?
Well, I've got a stepdaughter, yeah, but
Oh, okay, right.
but it's like I said with other lads as well. They've got kids, and then they've got they're working it between the shifts to try and
hard.
with their
It's really
exes
hard.
because it's this and it's that, and I'm like, oh, why have they got to be involved and all? I say it with narcissist intentions and stuff, but it's like it's difficult to try and get it.
Everyone's
together.
got their own different sort of battles of how to make it work, and
That's
it's frustrating though sometimes, isn't it? It's just like because you know your
Bloody
vision,
is.
you know what you want it to be, but things keep just holding it back, and you
They
just
do.
like,
I know, that's it. And I just like I said, I mean, we make a lot of progress when we got a full lineup.
yeah.
Until the next time.
So what have you got at the moment? Or is it just the bass player that you've not got then?
It's the bass player we've not got at the moment. Yeah.
Right.
If there's anyone watching this who fancies a bass gig, you're welcome to send me
in
a
the
message.
sort of Manchester, Lancashire
Yeah,
area.
obviously within shouting distance. Yeah,
Yeah.
this, you're welcome to give me a shout.
What kind of music is it, would you say?
It's pretty much the same. I mean, I've never physically said like I'm this music or I'm that music, or I like bands that sort of try everything. You know, I mean, I was listening to Extreme on way up, just for some nostalgia sort of thing going on. Because I mean, we did a lot of gigs going up here and stuff, and listening to them, to Porno Graffiti and stuff like that. So I thought, why not? Sod it, I'm going to put it on that because it's a long drive, so why not? And I'm putting it on, and it just started bringing back all them sort of old memories and stuff of like, listening to that, just sort of pulling them songs bits and thinking like, that's so bloody good, that.
Inspirational stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, they're fucking cool, aren't they? Like, there's no database.
So who's some of your all-time favourite bands then?
Mine, I mean, I've got a lot. Again, each one of them, I don't say that I've got a favourite band. I have a very likeable band called the Eagles.
Right.
I love the Eagles, but I never actually say it. Now, that's my favourite band of all time.
Who are some of your favourites then?
Some of my favourites, I'd probably say the Eagles, Free, Bad Company, Extreme, and just another one that rounded off, probably something like Aerosmith or something.
A lot of older stuff.
Yeah, I like all the bluesy sort of ideas and stuff. But again, it's only because some of these bands, I mean, Free was a lot very blues, like they were as blues gets. To be fair, but like Aerosmith and people like that, they weren't afraid to venture out.
Oh, definitely.
With their sound and try a different style of music with it. You
often sometimes feel that they get so successful with a certain type of sound. How dare they try anything different?
I know,
but it must be scary for them as well.
Well, of course it is. But I mean, and you see interviews of Steven Tyler and and whatnot, and he just says he says it like it is, and he just says, no, we just enjoy music. We're not here to, sort of
not doing it for anybody else.
No, we're not here to pump energy into a certain style of music. We play music, man. That is what we're about.
So many bands. It's like what excited you in the first place when you got together, started writing songs. Try not to change that too much. change your experiment and stuff. But if you try and change the chemistry of how you start, I even think if you start thinking about it too much.
Oh, definitely, man. Definitely. The minute you start overthinking a song is when you're running into a lot of difficulties and stuff, which is ideal. Obviously, why someone should take a lead role when it comes to songwriting and stuff, because then at least it sieves out what's going to happen and everyone can settle then, but
I always think you should just try everything, try everyone's ideas, and usually once you do that for a while, a certain person comes to the forefront of having the most consistent ideas, I think, and you just keep going with them because they know what they're doing, sort of thing.
Well, that's what it is, isn't it? This is it. If someone's going to eventually, someone comes with an idea, I've always, again, I put these sort of analogies on it so it makes more sense. I've always said some people are fire starters and some people chuck logs onto the fire.
That's true.
You
need both.
You do. This is it.
So when you sort of in terms of lyrics and that, what's your approach for? Do you ever write lyrics on their own, or are you normally putting lyrics to music that's already written?
I don't normally do that. I don't write them on my own because I think that's more poetry.
It is.
To be fair, there's nothing wrong with, but I'm trying to write a song rather than a poem. So what I do normally is I usually when I get an idea and it comes to me, I think, right, what sort of picture is in my head? Because I find you get a little picture before, or a feeling or something of how this song feels.
What the music sort of
giving
what
it's telling you. Yeah, what it's telling you, what type of lyric it needs, and I usually work off that sort of feeling and that picture in my head, and I try and put that picture to some words that I think works with it and stuff, and that's again subject matter as such of what you can write it about. And then
I think giving it a title sometimes helps.
It can do, but I mean, again, like I said, I don't do that. sometimes I can write
Do you have like a list of, if you hear a word or a phrase, do you make a note of it? Well, that might be a good song title. I might need.
Yeah, sometimes I do that.
That's what I start with. Because if I don't give it a title, I mean, sometimes I get feelings from songs, but if I don't give it a title, I usually get lost. But if I've given it a title, this song sound, I've got a long list of possible song titles. I go, this music, that would be a good theme, whatever it would be, and then that starts me off on a whole.
Yeah. Well,
everyone's different, but that's just how it works.
That's
for me.
what it is. Yeah, that is the truth behind. Everyone is different. Everyone works differently, like sort of live and let live and all that crap. But it's like I said, sometimes when I write songs, I'll write a full track and it'll I'll look around and I'll think, right, I've still not got a song title. So I'll have a look for a chorus, see if I can find
jumps out. Yeah,
that'll work. And then again, like I said, sometimes the song title just comes straight to me, but I don't.
Or sometimes you've already written it.
Yeah,
that'll be a good song title.
That's it. I mean, one of the
some
songs.
people like the song title to not be in the lyrics.
That's it. Yeah, like one of the songs what I was writing with Regresion, and it was only earlier on, to be fair. And I thought, this is a great idea, actually. And I came up with this title, and I don't know why it came to me, but it just come to me like that. So I thought, no, Devil's Child, that'll be nice. I like the idea of that name, something about that, and it could be anything.
First thing you've got to do is Google it, though, see if someone else has done it.
Well, I think they have, to be fair, but I mean, there's that many songs.
If the idea works, I mean, you can't really. I don't know. You can't copyright the title of a song.
You can't.
You have two songs that are the same, called the same, but
not
they're
really
completely different.
Yeah, that's it. It's no different to like with chord sequences and stuff these days. I mean, how many pop songs have you got with that 4-chord sequence? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's getting to a point now. I mean, I think Richie Blackmore sued. What's her name now? That girl with blonde hair. Since
I
she's
know
been
the one.
gone. That girl with blonde hair.
There's a few of them.
But he sued her, but Richie Blackmore for Since You've Been Gone.
Since you've been gone.
Obviously, that Since You've Been Gone. And then there's that, and then she did the Since You've Been Gone.
Not Ashley Simpson. Was it Ashley Simpson? No.
I can't remember her name now.
That's going to bug a bit.
Bloody
Kelly
name.
Clarkson.
Kelly
That were it.
Clarkson, was it?
I think
Yeah.
it were her.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it were her.
I didn't want to say in case I was very wrong.
Well, yeah, but apparently.
Or a little bit too knowledgeable on them subject.
Hey, I had to think hard.
It didn't just come to me. I didn't already know it. I swear.
I was just waiting.
All right, we're safe here, pal. We're safe, lad.
No,
but
but
yeah,
there's been a lot of that.
apparently he what's he called? He sued her. Apparently, but he lost because like.
They could probably
I
prove
think the
it,
judge
could
sort of just went like, no chance.
There's been a lot of that recently. People suing people. Like, isn't the Rolling Stones got a lot of stuff that's been?
Oh yeah,
turns out.
they sued the Verve, didn't they, for nicking that? But
that was right though. That was right though, because they sampled that. But I can't believe they would, because that was quite a big part that they sampled, and they didn't get permission.
mental.
They didn't get the right permission.
I know. It's mental.
Unless they just really thought this is a shit song. It's not going to do very well, so no one's going to notice.
What are you saying about the
So every time
Wiganers?
every time you see it on the TV or hear it on the radio, they're not getting a penny for it.
I know.
It's all going to Rolling Stones.
Stones. And how well did that song do? Gutted, lad.
I think they had to get it backdated as well, because obviously it was after the song came out when it was number one and everything. They have to. That's crazy.
Money.
That's happening a lot over the past few years.
Yeah, it is.
Iron Maiden got sued.
Did they?
Yeah, and they paid out. But that was more for lyrics, I think, rather than
I didn't
chord
know
progression.
that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Hallowed be thy name.
Get out.
Yeah, have you not read that?
No,
That was a big story last year.
I didn't know that.
Iron Maiden got sued for stealing the lyrics from somebody else's song.
Wow.
Yeah.
Steve Harris, naughty boy.
Yeah, and Iron Maiden paid out hundreds of thousands of pounds.
Wow.
Threatening.
At least because they can.
I can't remember the name of the artist.
Yeah.
Or the name of the lawyer who was putting it forward, but because other bands started doing it, they're like, oh, this is a thing. Well, hey, maybe we should try this.
It's becoming a trend.
Against the biggest band in the world.
Who are just going to go, well, if you want some money, here's some money, fuck off.
Let's clean them out, lads.
You know, they took it seriously, and in the end, they were just like, we'll just have to pay.
Yeah, what can we do? It's our reputation. Okay, we've got the money.
They can't they? They fly
Silly
in on
money.
bloody jets and everything, don't they? So
bands like that, few and far between these days, aren't they? That kind of money, that top end.
I mean,
I think
there's not so many though. They're all dying off, aren't they? To be fair.
Once those are gone,
that's it.
Can you see any? Where's the next step down from that? From like Metallica or Iron Maiden or
This is
AC/DC?
it. I mean, Avenged and people like that are sort of coming. They've got to that level, haven't they? They've got a few more years left in them, I suppose.
Someone was raving about Kill Switch Engage. He reckons they've got like serious potential to like.
I don't think so.
No, I'm not a fan either. But you know, I at least want certain bands and certain genres to be able to do it.
Of course,
for the good of the industry.
The thing is, that's what I mean. I mean, I'm not like. It'd be nice to see a few more sort of like bands with the sound that. Like say I've gone for and stuff.
A bit
like
more
that.
melodic.
Yeah. I think it needs a bit more. I mean, I love the band Heat. I think that ace that band. I've watched them live, and the everything about the song is just so catchy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, I know they're doing really well for themselves. But like, I know what you mean. It's a little bit nerve-wracking thinking like, you know, some of these bands that are getting these headline spots are going to be, you know, dying off soon, to be fair. And it's like, and there is a little bit of uncertainty in the air about who's going to take that sort of top spot.
Will the next step down be able to fill stadiums?
This is
will you have stadium tours anymore, or will it be just arenas?
Well, that's it. But it's like, you don't know whether or not they'll buy into them, because some people crave live music, don't they? You know, when someone eventually steps down, it can, you know, we don't know. They might just turn around and say, "Oh, sorry, I'll go over there."
But I suppose the people who are have the main responsible roles for that are the big festivals, because if they put one on someone as a headliner, then I guess they're a headliner. You just got to accept it.
Yeah,
I suppose.
that's it. Yeah,
someone's gonna have to make that decision.
Well,
we can't have Aerosmith anymore. We can't have Metallica anymore. Let's just give these guys a chance.
Yeah.
Or like Alter Bridge.
Yeah, that's it. Alter Bridge, I think, are coming up to that level, aren't they? With
Foo Fighters, they've still got a lot of years left in them.
Yeah, they have. To be fair, this is it. But like I said, it's one of them as well. And I think there is a bit of, again, like sort of method in madness there when it comes to being an headline band. Sometimes, you know, I don't think all the time, but sometimes if you put yourself out as an headline band, you just get recognised as an headline band.
It's perception, isn't it?
Yeah, and someone sees that, the headliners,
yeah.
and then people talk, and you know, and then one thing leads to another and stuff like that.
I think that even works down.
I've seen.
at our level.
I know that theory, you know, and to be fair, I've seen it work as well, but I don't think it always works as such.
Well, the band's got to be able to back it up, though.
Yeah, I think it's all like that's what it is. It's about it is all down to that band, isn't it? You know, I've seen bands that are headliners, and I thought, why are you an headliner?
Because there's a band. Have you heard a band called Monument? Not Monuments. Monument. I think they're down.
Oh, Monument. Yeah, I know that band. Yeah.
They've got Dan Bates. He used to be an Absolver. I think he's left them now.
Yeah.
But he was in there. They've toured all over Europe. But I remember their singer Peter Ellis. He actually does. The belts
he
for
does
WWE.
I think I've got him on Facebook.
Yeah.
We never actually talked to each other, but
they
you know.
a few years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago, they did exactly that. But they can't back it up though. I remember they must have saved some money and they spent it on like they had a half-page feature in Kerrang or Metal Hammer or something like that, and it was one of their shots from a festival. Obviously, it looked amazing. And then they had an album coming out and had awesome artwork. And that's the kind of thing when people see that and they go, oh. That just changes their perception of the band just by looking at that. And from then on, it worked. You know what I mean? But they've been able to back it up because they're a great band. You know what I mean?
Band, that's
but
it.
A lot of it is perception. Trying to, cause you've got to tell people just believe whatever they get shown.
They do.
These guys must be doing really well because I've seen it in a magazine or I've seen them on TV. Do you know what I mean?
This is the frightful truth as well. You know, there might be people listening to this and going, "What? No, I don't do that at all." But sorry, but it's true.
There's some hard truths. But like when you first discovered like on those big gigs with the Marshall stacks, half of them are just empty. It's like one of them has got an amp in it that's plugged in. The rest of them are
little flexi at bottom. Do you know Angus Young used to do that apparently? Yeah. Apparently, put all them stacks up and then he had a little amp at backstage sort of playing through. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I can believe it.
That's all you need. He had one good amp. He's got a good guitar and he's got a great sound. He's a great player, and that just gets fed into the whole system. Yeah. That's all you need.
Yeah.
But I suppose what would be the alternative if you just had the little amp without that? It's a bit like. What's going on here?
If you brought my first combo amp on stage to headline down.
I think that's what he should do.
Plugs it in like that. Hold on a minute.
Right at end of gig, or Pyro and stuff, brings it up and shows it the crowd. This is what I play through.
He's there kicking it.
Stroking it after that. You're my baby.
Smoking. But yeah, a lot of it is perception, but it's the same with most things, isn't it? Mainstream media is all perception.
Well, that's it. I mean, I don't want these. Obviously, when I was saying that bit, I was thinking about it earlier on. Came out with a bit negative. I'm not a negative person. I want the best for the industry.
You're definitely not a negative person. I can vouch for him.
I just want the best for the industry. And when I say things like, I'm not like I said, it's just an opinion. And when I see these bands sometimes who are claiming that they're headliners, and I see them and I go, but. You can't back this up, really. To be fair,
sometimes it's just
the case again,
it's money.
It's one of them hard truths, you know what I mean? Like cruel to be kind, a bit almost, you know what I mean? But like I said, it's just an opinion on what I've seen before it passed and stuff, which everyone usually does. To be fair,
Well, yeah, definitely. But so next year for you, you're going to be going out to Spain quite a lot. Then, do you think?
I'll be
getting a few air miles in.
Yeah, I think there'll be a few other countries in there besides just Spain as well. From what I've been speaking about, look, continent should I say? Really, to be fair.
And have they said they want to come here and do some gigs? Then?
Yeah, they've already mentioned that. I've had I speak to like a lot of my fans on me. I've got my own Facebook page, like to me singing and stuff. And
what's it called?
Antony Ellis, Vocalist.
We'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, and it like I said, I sort of keep people updated on there and stuff. But there's a lot of different sort of countries and ideas going around with Regresion at minute, and it's looking really good.
Like in the like festivals over here, like a SOS festival or
possibly, yeah. I'm open to loads of suggestions and stuff. I mean, I've been keeping myself pretty low key. Actually, and
which is probably for the best.
Yeah, it was without doubt. I didn't want to. I couldn't sort of explain what I was doing to everyone, and I had to get on with it and sort whatever I need to sort out, on my own. This is why I didn't put it out on Facebook about needing a bass player and stuff. I found a guy, but he's just not. We've not managed to get around to rehearsing with him yet.
Right.
But I'm still open to, to applications and stuff like that.
So for the other project, are you going to be the leader of it then, do you think?
Well, what I plan on doing is, the thing is, obviously there has to be some person somewhere who makes an hard decision or something,
I think so. You need a leader.
You do need someone. But I'm not that. What I want, I always tell lads all the time, like, when we've been writing songs and stuff in the last few weeks, and what do you reckon? What do you think? And I actually give them a bit more space, to be fair. Obviously, like I said, I like it to be a group decision on something.
You want everyone to be happy.
Oh God, yeah. Because if you take away from that morale,
what have you got?
That's it.
Everything's going to suffer. Then, isn't
your
it?
sound goes in my, that's when people start leaving into it and stuff. And it's like, don't get me wrong, there is a bit of a, sort of a. You've got to meet each other halfway sometimes and take it on
compromise.
Take it on.
It's like a relationship sometimes.
It is without a doubt. But it's like I said, it all depends on how many times and if everyone's reasonable enough, and you've all got sort of similar tastes in what music you want to play. Yeah. That usually works out all right. To be fair.
What's the most amount of gigs you've done in a row?
I'm trying to think. I think we did a lot on the Black Spiders tour actually. I think I did about 5 or 6 in a row.
Do you have to be careful with your voice when you do something?
Well, yeah, because we was doing pretty long sets. I think we was doing a deep. Oh no, it was about 45 minutes, something like that.
Still, 45 minutes for you guys, just full on, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's about 5 or 6 I've done in a row. But again, like it's 5 or 6 sort of rounds with Mike Tyson with myself. To be fair, because when I get up in the morning after I've done a gig. It depends. I warm up before a gig, and then I do the gig and I'd sing and blah 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 blah. And then what I'd do then is I used to do this this warm down technique, and I always use sort of it's a yawn technique basically every time, and I'd do a little bit like that, and it sort of really brings it all down.
I've not really heard of warming down your vocals.
Yeah, it's no different to being an athlete. You got to keep it nice.
It's a muscle. Like
yeah,
like
yeah. You got to. What you've got to do, you've got to start from as you're warming up. You start from bottom. You've got to start from the top. So you got to go like a hum. Nice.
Just for warming up.
Warming down.
Oh, warming down.
Like so, I mean, it's top downwards.
Right.
When you're warming up, it gives it away in the name. you're warming upwards.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm warming downwards. Like, so I do that before these gigs and stuff, and try and keep my voice. So try and keep the speaking to a minimum, but like obviously when
Yeah.
you're having a bit of banting,
But it's hard,
Van.
isn't it? It's hard.
it is difficult.
I always found the van though really loud, so you have to shout or talk loud to be heard.
That is another problem as well. What I used to do, to be fair, and you know, I didn't mind it, to be fair, because I don't mind my own company as well.
Everyone just thinks you're being antisocial.
You do. Yeah, this is it. I don't mind my own company. I can leap myself to my own thoughts and be happy.
I just used to do the podcasts.
Well,
Passes the time.
Why not? This is it. Each to their own.
Yeah.
And I used to put my headphones on, put my head down in van, and then we'd crack on to the gig, and I'd be listening to whatever, you know. I'm a decent gamer as well, so I'd download a couple of emulators on my phone or something like that, you know, and be.
Well, people don't realise that the vocalists, they need to be pampering. They need sleep. They need water.
They do.
They need to not talk much.
They do. They need a full double bed. They need.
I don't know about that.
They need the breakfast brought for them and everything. They do.
But you have got to look after it, because for the rest of your band, they don't want your voice to blow out in the middle halfway through one of your biggest gigs when you're in the middle of Europe or something.
Well, that's it. If you're responsible enough, there's no reason why the rest of the band should even think that, to be fair.
Exactly.
It winds me up when I see, you know, when I see singers, like, you know, who aren't listening to the band members, like, when they're like shouting down a microphone. I know my voice. I know what it's capable of. I know when I've gone a bit too far with something, basically, and it usually was when I'd gone a bit too far. After I'd sung and I'd warmed out, it's when I've gone out. After that, drank or something, and then you're in a nightclub and you're like,
yeah, that's when you do the damage. Yeah, yeah. Till stupid o'clock in the morning as well.
Yeah. then you wake up next morning and go, fucking hell, I can't do this.
It's on the body warming down. What was the point?
Well, I could have sworn I didn't do this.
Sure, Barry White. Yeah.
So that was usually like how I woke up. Like when we did Just Got Soto tour, and I had a bad voice, I think third night. But we'd been out, and it's soul destroying knowing that you have to look after your voice, and you can't go out on that.
But it's also
and
soul
enjoy
destroying
yourself.
not going out, isn't it?
Well, that's it. You know, it was in a city I'd never seen before or anything like that, and it was like, are we going out? I was like, yeah, all right. And then next minute, you know, like,
if you do go out, you just sat in a corner just going.
I know. But you have to look after it. You have to. So, you know,
you got to see the bigger picture.
Yeah, there's all sorts of different ways you can keep it on track and stuff. You know, I used to drink a lot of hot water with honey, and I left the lemon out because of citrus. It burns citrus. To be fair, it's like you use it for cleaning frigging.
So have you had some singing lessons or vocal coaches or anything like that?
I've had a few vocal coaches, but I think the best vocal coach that you can have is yourself, because of the fact that you have to apply yourself anyway to singing. There's a lot of energy in it. You know yourself. You know you have to discover what your voice is capable of. In my eyes, I started singing years ago, when I was about 14-year-old, and I did a bit of operatic training then. But it made
why?
Just because it's what he was teaching me. Usually, the operatic way is the correct way to sing. It is, you know, there's nothing that can be said against it, really. It's bang on. Everything's like, oh, from there, all that sort of thing and stuff like that. You know, it's
quite
the
good
correct.
for that age. That's a good thing for you.
Well,
really,
that's what I mean. It's all open throat. It's, you know, it's perfect. It's resonant. It works for the voice as such. But then obviously over time, like with rock and stuff, sort of came in. That's when things started changing up with sound and stuff. But I think the best vocal teacher, without doubt, is yourself, because you need to know your voice. It's part of your body at the end of the day. So I usually just played it by ear quite a lot. And if I felt I needed to stop talking, or I needed to chill out, or I needed sort of just usually taking a sleep, going for a nap, something like that, can bring your voice round so much better than not speaking for 6 hours. If you can get your head down for an hour, it's worth 6 hours of no talking.
Definitely.
You know, for me, I always thought that, you know, it's because as you sleep, you're repairing your body. You know, that's when it goes into repair mode. So, like I said, you just got to know your own voice as a singer. It's part of your body. You can tell when you've gone a bit too far with something, and when you've got a bit too giddy.
Because it made me realise how important sleep was. I never really understood
Oh,
that
God,
until
yeah.
I experienced it.
Oh,
The
God,
difference between having a good night's sleep and getting hardly any sleep the next day. Like, why can't I do this?
I know, that's what it was. That's what it was. You know, a lot of time. You know, I mean, it weren't so bad. Obviously, when we was on a buzz, it weren't too bad. I actually thought I was a bit worried, to be fair, because when we got our heads down, you know, you got this bloody roaring engine underneath
On
you
the bus,
as well.
yeah.
You know, so we had a friend who gave us some earplugs and stuff, like, you know, it's normal stuff, like sort of shit, like, you know, and it worked a treat, but like they weren't too bad actually, the buzzes, for keeping, you know, for not you know, for waking you up and stuff. So
But you just kind of get used to it, don't you?
yeah, that's what sort of, after a few days worth of on the road, it weren't too bad, you know. So, but yeah, you know, you do need your sleep when it comes to
Sleep and water are probably the two most important things.
Yeah,
Keep
I
hydrated.
used to drink about, I think it was about 3 litres of water every day. But the thing is with water, there's all these little tricks at trade, like water.
Oh, everyone's got different tricks.
Yeah, water takes 2 days for actually get to your
All right.
your vocal
I didn't know
cords.
that either.
Yeah, honestly, you have to be drinking water at least 2 days before your gig for it to have any sort of effect. But water is a big and no doubt about
Antony
it.
Ellis dropping some knowledge. I did not know that.
Yeah, it takes
Wow.
about.
Science, bitch.
Impressive.
And for my next drink, I'll eat a pie.
No, I didn't know that, but it makes sense
Yeah,
though.
it's
'Cause
2 days before you, because what it is, your vocal cords are the last thing on your list when you're drinking water. You know, for your body, like it goes to your stomach and it goes to your organs and stuff
Yeah.
like that before it goes anywhere near your vocal cords. So, you know, I used to drink like about 2 days before. I can't say that I did it all the time, you know, but you know, most of the time I usually kept to that sort of thing. And after a bit, once I'd sort of built up that water, sort of little reservoir inside of myself as such, you know, I could just keep topping it up over the days,
Yeah,
and I'd
just gotta keep
still
drinking all the time.
I'd still have enough water to keep me going. Because, like I said, you know, I run around that much. I was sweating half of it out anyway.
Yeah. So, have you had many experiences being ill while you've got to play?
I've had a couple, but nothing too major.
You've got no tips for looking after your voice when you're not well?
Well, there is none really.
Someone says like honey and water. Just trying if you got a bad cold.
You've
or
just
something
got to
like
get through it, and
Yeah.
again, it comes down to that thing with yourself as such. If you think you're going a bit too far, I call it Scooby Dooing me. When you've got a bad cold or something like that, like, you know, you'd sing like, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
But it's just like, oh, Maggie, all that sort of thing.
There's little things you can do to if your voice isn't quite there because you're full of cold. You can just kind of like
You just got to
Tone it
work
down a bit.
with it. You've just got to be thinking all the time,
Yeah.
like, with it. Like, if you think this is going to be a bad note, then, and usually, you know, some people are a bit too proud for do it. I'm not too arsed, to be fair. I just tell the crowd before I start the gig. I say, I'll let you know now.
Some people doing that.
I'm not so well, so bear with if I make a balls up.
I always remember Jason Newsted, the former Metallica bass player, saying, you know, it's not the kind of job where you can call in sick when you get to that level anyway.
No.
When you reach most levels, to be honest, if someone paid a ticket, hard-earned money to come and see you,
This is it.
you better be on it.
Yeah, you have
and if
to.
you're ill, you've just got to deal with it.
Yeah, that's what it is, you know.
But it should only be illness that affects anything. It shouldn't be anything
That's
else.
it, you know. I mean, look what happened with James Hetfield when he got his arm set on fire.
Yeah, well, there was that.
You
Yeah,
know?
you had to kind of stop there. But we'll let you stop now. But there was one.
Can't
last-
get a sick note, can you?
there was one last year where he was having a tough time because he was really ill, and he stopped the show and they were just talking, and he finally went to the crowd and he goes, "Look, I'm feeling like shit. I can't even sing. My voice is going." It's like, do you want us to finish or do you want to just carry on? Obviously, they want you to carry on, but he said, just bear in mind, I feel like shit and I don't feel like I can do this, but I'll do it for you guys.
Yeah, but it's
He got through it, and his vocals were all over the place, but they didn't care. Do you know what I mean?
No,
It's
they
part of
don't.
the show.
That's it. It's about having a good time at the end of the day.
It's like
isn't
guitar
it?
players would fuss over when they make mistakes. It's like everybody makes mistakes. If you look
Yeah.
at the top bands, they make mistakes. Half the time you don't even notice.
No, this is true.
They
This is
notice.
true. They
and
laugh it
sometimes they
off.
can be pissed off with it,
Yeah.
but don't take it to heart.
No,
'cause
it's not an unwritten rule. You know what I mean? you just got to laugh it off. Any mistakes or like that, you can't let it get to you, because then you're just winding yourself up.
Because it's not about the fact that you've made a mistake, because everyone makes mistakes. It's how you deal with it, I think.
True.
And like, you learn these things when you
Of
start
course you
doing
do,
it, 'cause
yeah.
you just got to carry on with it.
Yeah.
Like, you're there to have fun. Like, just keep having fun. So
That's
you made a
it.
mistake. Wow.
Be all right, don't worry about it. Get a drink down, you'll be okay.
Well, it's one of these things that you just learn. Like most things, it's like experience. The longer you do it, you sort of things that you used to fuss over with, you don't give a shit after a few
that's
years.
it. I know, that's true. That you think back on it, you think, oh, why did I bother with that?
Although the arguments you used to have over stuff, and you go, I don't give a shit anymore. I just want to have a good time. Or like
certain exes and stuff like, Jesus Christ, I should have just fucked her off.
but like, what were you like with like things like artwork and stuff? Do you get obsessive over the artwork, what it should look like? Because I often find quite often whoever did the lyrics or was involved in the lyrics has an image of what it should be called or what it should look like and stuff like that.
No, I don't get. See, I'm not an artist. I'm an artist, obviously, in some way, in a musical way. But I'm happy for someone else to take hold of that. Like, to be fair, I've never been someone who sort of like comes up with a great sort of design. I come up with one. Yeah, I come up with one for my own band, but it's not like a finished product or anything.
Have you been doing the lion's share of the lyrics for that?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's
the normal route for me. Is like whoever's doing the lyrics usually is the singer, but like they've did the lyrics, they've probably named the song, they've probably named the album, so they should have a clear image of what an image should come to mind.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's
lyrics,
it. Like I said, it all depends. I mean, obviously, again, then you've got to include everyone else, haven't you? You know, what do you think? How do you feel about this? Blah blah blah. Because then it becomes someone's project, doesn't it?
Yeah. I like the discussion of like, what is this song about?
Yeah.
Trying to get to the bottom of what are we trying to say here.
That's it.
even if you did write all the lyrics as a group, saying what is the song about? What? Because even like the imagery could be quite different from what you actually wrote it about in the first place. It's like when music videos sometimes are completely different to what the song is actually about.
I know,
because you can have different interpretations.
That's why I write that certain way, because it's like I said, there's no point writing happy lyrics over, like a
deep
sort
music kind of thing, or vice versa.
Yeah, like a like ball and chain song. Like.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean, but it is quite interesting how the imagery that words can just bring to your mind, or even like we listen to your favorite songs. It's like you might read the lyrics or learn the lyrics, but they might mean something completely different to the person who actually wrote it, and that's a sign of good lyrics, I think.
This is it.
Quite universal.
This is it. But like, you're getting into that really you know what I mean, sort of thing. Like gets a bit too much to think about, and it starts hurting after a bit.
But have you never had that though? Has anyone like commented on on the lyrics that you sing about? Like they've said, "Oh, this song means too much to me because it reminds me of this and that," but really the song's not about that. But they've taken those lyrics and interpreted it that way, and you're like, "Oh, I hadn't even thought of that."
I think I won't be able to tell you off the top of my head, but I've had a lot of compliments for lyrics in past and stuff. But like I said, I've never really. I can't think off the top of my head if someone said like, "Oh, I've took it in a different way," and I've gone, "Oh." Sort of thing. But,
so is Jack Black an influence?
Oh God, no!
I had it written down to mention.
Don't get me wrong, I love the guy, I really do. But he's never really. It was more Mick Jagger, to be fair.
Right. Okay.
To be honest, but I just gained a bit of weight.
So that's the only comparison.
Thank you, John Smith.
And you're funny.
Well,
so that's another comparison, I suppose.
I'd say I'm a likable person. Yeah, so yeah.
It's where the Lancashire accent translates.
Everyone loves it.
Hey up there, LA. How we doing?
Yeah.
Did you see we had the Lancashire hot pots on? Do you know the Lancashire hot pots?
Yeah.
What a hoot. They're really good. I mean, they play some big festivals.
I know they do, yeah.
I think that's a skill in itself. I want a chippy tea. I said they're like a comedy musical version of Peter Kay.
They're great, that's it, yeah.
Their themes and what they write about is like...
How many gigs do they get? It's unreal.
I know.
They never stop, do they?
So how are you... What's your thoughts on tribute bands?
My thoughts on tribute bands... it's great to have a tribute band. There's nothing wrong with it. But it's not the tributes. What?
So I was waiting for the but. There's a but coming.
But the problem isn't with the tributes. The problem is with the promoters, in my eyes. Basically, put the tributes on.
Yeah.
There's no point, like we was discussing earlier on about all this, about the future and live music and stuff. It doesn't make sense to simply, and it's not good for the industry to put, like, say, a tribute on with an original band, or because I've had gigs before where I've supported a tribute band just because they've pulled some bodies in, pulled some bodies in. I understand that concept, but we're here to plug live music and to make it grow. We're not here, and I think tributes really, in the end, are gonna destroy what is live music.
Potentially, yeah. Especially when it's tribute bands of bands who are still going.
Correct. This is it. You know, it's sapping gigs away for starters. You know, they're going out and they're playing how many nights a week, and you know,
well, they get paid more than we do.
They do. That's it. And it's just because they put bums on seats. But I've nothing against anybody.
The promoters always say, "Oh, we have to," because they get the biggest crowds, which is in itself. Yeah, but if you stop putting them on,
that's what I mean. If you pump something in and it's not a case of, like I said, they need to change the mentality in my opinion, and come to it like sort of like hit it from a different direction, you know, rather than keep sort of going along that easy route that's been such the norm for how many years and stuff, and it's still the norm now technically, but that is what it is. They need, you know, something would have to change somewhere, because I think there could be a really good future for live music if they did, to be fair, you know, and I think it could really boost, you know, opportunities for lads like myself and you know. I
mean, I like it when some promoters, if they're going to have a tribute band, they know it's going to be packed. That they always make sure they put on an original band as well.
Well, that's,
just before them or just after them. Do you know what I mean? That kind of works.
Yeah, it does. It does, and it don't as well at the same time, because I mean, you're an original band. You aspire to become a headline band eventually. You aspire to, you know, and every time these tributes are on and they're taking them slots and stuff, and the thing is that headline slot is important because it's what that crowd come away talking about, you know, and yeah, you can support them and they go, well, yeah, give it a little fart, and you can ask a few fans.
Yeah.
But it doesn't do anything for you, you know what I mean? It doesn't do anything.
You've got to get out there.
You've got to pump the energy into the original music, because otherwise, you know, it'll die off.
I mean, a lot of the promoters argue that they put on tribute nights, but then they also put on original nights, but they can only afford to put on original nights because the tribute nights are the only ones that really make them some money.
Well, that's it.
So if they have to put on one tribute night on a Friday night every week, so that they can put on 3 or 4 original nights, then I suppose it's the lesser of the evils, I suppose.
Well, of course it is. Yeah, of course it is in some ways. I know what you're saying. But, you know, how many gigs would run through the week with that?
Exactly.
So, you know, it just wouldn't work, would it? You know, if, like I said, it's more a case of the strategy of how they go about promoting it. And it's like, you wouldn't just get any original band. You get an original.
Homework,
you get an original band that's got a bloody following and has got a good sound. That when they walk away from that venue, them punters, they go, Jesus Christ, I'm going back there again.
Yeah, it's like what Massive Wagons are doing now.
Basically, that's it. Yeah.
I mean, they're just getting to that level now where they're just going to make that final step. I think
they're doing grand, Barry and lads. You know what I mean? It's like I said, but that's what it is. That's what it comes down to. It's like
the full package.
Yeah, you know. I mean, again, tributes are tributes, and they always will be. You know, and I don't think they'll ever go away. You can't stop.
No.
You know, but that's my thoughts on it, to be honest, and I think a lot of people agree.
I've said it before on here. I don't mind tribute bands of bands that aren't going, like, because if a really good tribute band of that band is the best you can get.
That makes sense.
It's you've seen a tribute band of a band who's just had an album out, like in the charts, and you're like, why is there a tribute band of this band?
That's it.
Should be some kind of law.
That's it. It's just an easy money game, isn't it? You know, and it's like
you saw like Adele tributes and stuff.
Oh no,
and he's just like, unreal. What? I know, obviously they probably couldn't afford to pay the real Adele, but it's like an economy in itself.
That's it. I mean, at least that's not coming over to our sort of side of things.
So they can fuck off.
You keep to your own. You look daft, but yeah, crack on.
Well, so what is your sort of relationship with mainstream music then these days?
I don't mind any music, mate. To be fair, I can listen to anything. you know.
Do you not find a lot, like, especially listen like Radio 1 or something, like if you listen to it for more than an hour, it does not start doing your head in. It does mine.
I don't really listen to Radio 1, to be fair.
Well, there you go. That's probably why. That's answered your own question.
I'm a Smooth FM lover, mate, to be fair.
There you go.
I like my soul music and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I love Lady Gaga.
Right.
And I think she's rocketing at the moment. Honest to God, and she's going about it just like Madonna did. To be fair,
well, yeah,
everything
that's
about
been her
it,
main
like,
criticism,
you know,
isn't it?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's like
She's trying to out Madonna, isn't she?
basically, yeah. And she probably won't do that, but anyway,
Well,
that's another conversation.
Well,
in itself.
that time when she showed up to that awards dressed as like meat, do you remember that?
Yeah,
Did you see that?
Yeah, I remember that.
It's like
absolutely cracked. Honestly, it's like, what?
smoking some something there. Something going on. It must be. I'm not saying person. I'm going to dress up as like pork today. Got my pork outfit on.
Stick a couple of chicken fillets on there and
that'll
all.
But a lot of that stuff. That's my main criticism of mainstream music is like quite often it's image over content.
Yeah, it is. But it's like I said, it's, you know, she's going about it now where she's going through all this acting and stuff like that, isn't she? And it's exactly
Apparently she's quite a good actor.
She is.
Someone
She's grand.
said.
I watched her. She was good. She's all right, but you know, like I like her tunes. She's good. She's good with songwriting again.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not that thing we watch then.
It's like you've not handled a microphone before.
Yeah.
Bit nervous, you know.
But yeah, you know, she's like I said, she's a good songwriter, and she, you know, that one she's done with what's his name, Bradley Cooper, is it?
Yeah, that's a fairly recent film, was it?
Yeah, that was A Star Is Born, is it?
I have not seen that.
Yeah, I've not seen it, but the song comes on radio, and I listen to it, and
That got some good reviews.
She's got a fantastic voice, and she's got a great mindset for writing good songs and stuff. You know, and there's nothing else really for need when it comes to it.
Did you see the Bohemian Rhapsody?
I've not watched it yet. No,
Are you a Queen fan?
I am a Queen fan,
yeah.
but I've not watched that film yet. To be fair,
It's coming out on VD soon. So.
is it? I've been sat at home, like, you know.
Oh, it's coming on. Have you got Sky?
I'm not on Sky, but I'm on Dodgy Box. Like.
Oh, it's coming on Sky next week, I think.
Is it? All right.
Yeah,
I've got no TV.
I've pre-ordered Blu-ray.
Blu-ray?
Yeah. No, I went to see it. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, a lot of people are rated it, and they.
Our guests on Sunday just gone were the two guys who run a cinema, and obviously they.
Yeah, they had their
One
say
of
on
them-
the film.
One of them was an absolute die-hard Queen fan, and he was like furious that because they've altered some of the storyline to make the film work, and he's like. But I thought it was weird that when he actually watched it without thinking about it, he enjoyed it. But then when he thought about it, he started to get angry. When he thought about okay, well that didn't happen then. You just start getting more and more angry. Like they totally changed the whole thing. But I enjoyed it. I tried to not take it because before I watched, like I said last time, before I watched it, I already knew some of the discrepancies and some of the changes that they'd made to make a film. Because someone who doesn't know anything about Queen, it won't matter to them. It's just a
well, that's what I mean.
film.
I'm sort of in that boat. I mean, I like listening to the tunes. You know,
his voice obviously is another.
He's what a front man. You know what I mean? He's fantastic, wasn't he? You know, but like I know the tunes, but I don't really know like the backlog of how things went down and stuff.
It was quite interesting because obviously the film was endorsed by the band, so down to like the conversations that happened in the studio and about how some of the songs were written is true. So that's for me. That was probably the most interesting part.
Well,
but
that's
also the recreation of the Live Aid stuff. How they did that. Have you seen the live performances from that?
Yeah, I've seen a couple of them. Yeah,
like he's like mimicked Freddie Mercury's performance like exactly. Yeah.
I've seen the guy on Facebook who comes back and he does it. He's even got the teeth and everything. Like, you know, seen the guy. So. He's really good. Honestly, I'll send you a link of him. Yeah, it's very good. Honestly, I was like, wow, why has he not got the part?
Oh no! Wait, maybe he can't act.
Is it the guy that does all the Queen songs?
Yeah.
Well, because he was the guy that did the singing for the film, I believe.
Oh right, okay, that would make sense.
Yeah, that was it.
He sounds just like him
because he does such a good Freddie Mercury.
So he did the
audio
vocals
tracks.
for the films,
whereas
Rami Malek was just acting them out.
Like sort of a mime artist.
Yeah, I think that's how it was done.
It worked, whatever they did.
Yeah. I can't remember the guy's name, but I think that's who you're talking about.
Yeah. That'll be him probably more than likely.
It's funny how people he's like made a career out of that, just imitating Freddie Mercury. But
Yeah, I see him all the time on my feed, and there's these singers, and they can imitate anyone. You know, I think that's how I started off properly. To be fair, like,
well, I think everybody does, really.
Yeah,
don't they?
you sort of listen to it. Oh, I like this song. I like this band.
You want to
And then
emulate a
you li-
sound.
like, I went for like a James Hetfield thing going on.
Right,
there,
yeah.
like, yeah. I like that. You know, and then like, ooh.
But like eventually, the more and more you do it, the more of you comes out.
Well,
doesn't
that
it?
was it. Yeah, after a bit, people would say you sound a bit too much like James Hetfield. So then you adapt that, and then you twist this, and then you go, all right, and then you find your own sound.
But,
You know.
But like going back to Jack Black, not the comparison, but his vocal range is probably one of the highest I've ever. Apart from like maybe I don't know Freddie Mercury. I was going to say, but he doesn't have much of a low range. Tell you, what, did Prince?
Yeah, he did.
He could do like stupid high stuff and really low.
I know. I never really got into a Prince.
No,
mate,
I'm
to
not
be
either.
fair.
But I know he was a really good guitar player as well.
It's unbelievable. He seemed like.
Oh, they're all previous guests' notes. So.
Oh right, okay. I just seen a big dick on that.
Yep. That was. Who was that? I can't remember. Maybe Barry Mills.
I can't remember.
Because you always say to guests, if you want to write something before, during, or after,
All
write
right.
it down.
Okay.
Some do, some don't.
Yeah.
He drew a big dick.
Fair enough.
Says a lot about him, really.
Good lad, him, yeah.
What am I thinking right now?
Hey up, Baz.
I know.
Hey, he's got some pipes as well, Baz, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, without doubt.
Have you done gigs with them?
Yeah, we Wagons. Yeah, we did it a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a cracking bunch of lads.
In terms of our sort of level and group where we come from, I think they're probably one of the shining lights, I would say. Especially
Yeah,
going
innit?
like they've been going more than 10 years, maybe more than 10 years now.
Yeah, they have.
To come
they've been
through
going a
all of
while,
that,
haven't
still
they?
be going and just get better and better
Well, this
and
is
better.
it. You know,
They're getting what they deserve now, I think.
Yeah, they are. There's no doubt about it. You know, they've been going for so long now. You know, and like I said, they're a cracking bunch of lads.
Yeah, that as well.
And they deserve it. You know,
Yeah.
they've been slogging it out for that long, and you know, it's good for to see that they do it. That they've managed to break through onto another level
Yeah.
to what we was all
It's been
on.
a
and such.
I suppose it's been quite a gradual thing, hasn't it? The last couple of
Yeah.
albums have really propelled them, I suppose, haven't they? Because
Yeah,
the last album got in the top 200 on the iTunes
something like
chart,
that.
I think like that,
yeah.
and like next to some pretty big artists
Well,
as well.
that's it. You
So
know,
that's
and
pretty cool.
they get played on Planet Rock so much as well.
Yeah, they've got
It's
some
a
good support.
massive
haven't they?
help. It's a huge help. You know, if you get through to, you know, a top radio station like them, you've cracked it.
It's
really.
their fans as well.
Mm.
The fans are amazing.
Yeah.
I've said Bigfoot has some pretty awesome fans as well, didn't
Yeah,
they?
yeah,
Really
yeah.
good fan base. I was always impressed by that. You just tell at gigs and online, there's always like a rabid sort of constant support.
They were quality. There's no doubt about it. You know that everyone. The thing is though, with us, I just enjoyed the fact that, you know, we were all having a good time. That, you know, if that was what it was. That was
And it came
for
across
me.
as
That was
well.
the bottom line. You know what I mean? Just sort of go.
I remember I always thought that looks like fun. That guy's like proper having fun, which is what it should. At the core of it, that's what it always should be
That
about.
was it,
isn't
you know what I mean? And getting the reactions and stuff. And then, you know, we'd say like we weren't on a tour or something and we only had the one gig and it was a big one or something.
Yeah.
And, you know, go out on Lash and,
Yeah.
you know, and things would get steamy, you know what I mean? So that's what it is, you know. It was, I love doing that, you know. I still speak to quite a few of them, to be fair.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I was going to ask, what happened when you lost your Facebook page? You had to start again.
That was some bugger in another country who hacked us. That was an awful night. That was devastating. That I think we had 8,000 fans on it, right? Which is not a lot compared to some pages.
They're
But
nearly back at that now.
yeah, but it was a lot. You know what I mean? We worked hard to get to it. You know,
Yeah.
and we just started, and every gig that we got up to that point had been a plus,
Yeah.
had been a big gig, and we're going on. You know, we're doing this festival. That now we've got a tour, and
It's like your diary, isn't it?
yeah. And the next minute, all of a sudden, this everyone started saying like your page has disappeared, and we were looking, and I think what we'd worked out in the end, it was through Tom's Facebook because someone had hacked him, but we were all admins on the page, you see, as well. So it could have been any one of us as well because we were an admin, you know. They got control of the page, you know.
I just deleted it.
They didn't delete it, did they? They sort of just changed it all up, didn't they? And they
Right.
started selling things off it or something that
right.
to all our fans. Like, but
So you lost all your stuff.
a little tip for anyone who started a band: have one admin and and 3 or 4 editors.
The most responsible one is the admin.
Believe me.
Because I've never really at our level
were
I've never seen
awful,
that
mate.
happen before. Because like you say, from day one, all your stuff is on there.
It were awful. Honestly, we were all gutted. We was just like, well, that's good, you know. But
Made the most of it though, because
yeah,
it did. I think it has spurred you on to sort of we've got to start again, but we've got to go for it. We've got to like just
well, that
keep
was it, you know.
populating it with stuff. And
We
you
should-
had a lot of stuff going on
Well,
anyway.
that's it. We had a lot of the fans on like on our personal Facebooks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So obviously that when that went out, that information, obviously we gained about a good 2,000-3,000 people back.
Yeah, pretty quickly.
But you know, it was all them fans that we'd picked up from past.
Yeah.
You know, random gigs here and there. You know, just anyone who's been out for a drink or something like that, and just sort of just catched our set or something like that. You know.
Yeah.
So
These things happen, don't they?
they bloody do, mate.
What are you like on social media then? Generally, do you use it a lot or?
I only use it when I feel there's something to post. To
Yeah.
be honest,
Yeah. You don't post like what
You
you had
know,
for tea or.
I mean a band page is different. My own solo page is it's. I only post something that I think's necessary to some to like people who are on there and stuff. You know, if I feel like as if they need to hear something, or if they need an update on like some progress that I'm making with this my own band, I just post something, a little bit of this and a little bit of that. But
Do you use
know,
Twitter or Instagram?
I use Instagram, but it's a personal one. It's rather than my
Okay,
own. But
right.
it's still called the same sort of thing. So I just use that Instagram for put my own personal and my singing stuff on as
Right,
well.
yeah.
I don't keep it separate. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
Yeah.
you know, it gets a bit. I understand it makes sense to have officials of this, officials of that, but I've not got a bloody headspace for it. You know what I mean? So I'd rather concentrate my energy on writing songs.
That's true. Yeah, but it is all of it's just. I just use it as a sort of a document of things that you've done because. End of the day, when you're old, all you'll have is your pictures and your.
Well, that's it. But I think there's only a handful of blokes really who use the camera half as much as like women do. You know what I mean? I don't.
I think it's evening out now.
Well, yeah. Look at it. Are you one of them?
No, but you know what I mean. I think there's a lot of guys now.
But they do, I suppose. I'm still not that type of guy, though. To be fair, like usually, you know, I check it in with my eyes before I pull the phone
These
out. Like,
fucking selfies, driving
no,
the
mate,
wall.
all over the
But
place,
guys,
so.
it's
I know.
it's
they
every
love it.
picture, selfie. You're like, do you take a photo of anything but yourself?
This is why we need to bring national service back. This is what it.
I won't go that far. No, I know what you mean though.
Don't get that pit.
Budgie. But I just drives me up the wall sometimes when you see people using it sort of in the wrong way, like just
Yeah, they
just
post
about themselves
anything,
and just.
anything.
But I'm like you,
anytime.
like I try to keep it things that I think vaguely interesting. Like I don't put like
If it's relevant, yeah, that's what I usually do. Like, you know, like when I became the singer of Regresion, that was something to post. You know, when I'll be posting, obviously something about this as well. Obviously,
yeah.
you know, just something that's related to me and my singing, and nothing else. You know, sometimes
Your career.
yeah.
Because I remember you changed your job recently, back end last year, before any of your announcements to like lead vocalist,
Yeah,
and everyone was commenting on that. Like, really? What's going on? And then
I know. I don't know what happened there. Everyone just sort of jumped, and now we're like, I just let it happen. I was like, what?
Because I was looking, I was when I was doing a bit of research for today, I was like looking through your profile, and I was going, I wonder when he got the announcement versus when he decided to, when he got the offer, so when he announced it. One of the clues was you put in, anyone know where you can get jabs? Going away somewhere, are we? I was like,
I think that wasn't anything to do with that. To be
I
fair.
thought it was.
No, everyone did. This is what I mean. It's amazing what you can do over them
That's funny.
them platforms. It's ridiculous. Like, I'm not knocking anyone. You're welcome
no.
to think things like that. You know, but that was genuinely because I thought to myself, I need to get me beef for my job.
Okay, fair
Do you know
enough.
what I mean? So I put that out, and everyone went, "What? you going? Done this and that.
You're not going to die,
I
are you?
buzzing. And I thought, well, I'm not going to stop this. There's a big buzz here, so crack on.
Well, yeah. Serves a purpose, doesn't it?
Yeah, you know what I mean? I thought, yeah, keep making more commotion. I'll not say
But
nothing.
social media, I mean, do you remember a time before it?
No. I mean, I do and I don't as well.
How old are you?
Me, 28.
Oh, he's just a young pup. I'm 10 years older than you.
Are you?
Yeah.
Bloody hell, mate. Bloody hell. Well, it's like I said, I'll start losing my hair soon anyway. There's no doubt about that.
So social media was about, well, Facebook
It wa-
exploded
it
about
wa-
2007.
I think I was about 16 when it kicked off proper.
Yeah, but
I think
you probably always had a mobile phone as long as you can remember, have you?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I tell a lie. No, I think mobiles started proper mobiles, not them big chunky. beats.
I remember them.
I think the first proper mobile what I had was a Motorola. And
Razor.
It had a big card on it,
the aerial.
the big card on it, and it was on orange. And and I could only text and I could only ring off it. But then they started getting a little bit better.
They're like colour screen with graphics.
Well, that was it. Yeah,
Wow.
that was it. Until it was
the first one that had a
poly.
camera on it.
What was it called? That sound?
Polyphonic.
Polyphonic.
Oh, yeah,
Polyphonic
yeah.
ringtones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
polyphonic.
Oh,
yeah.
I've just got monophonic.
Get with the times, man.
I'm 3310. You used to be able to sort of go on internet and find
yeah.
them tunes, didn't you?
Yeah.
And write it all in yourself.
Then you start
then
playing
it'll-
Snake.
You got, have I got that right? And you got like, din, 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 din.
But you know what it's like now? I remember a time going to the pub with my mates when no one had a mobile phone and there was no social media,
Yeah.
so you literally just had to talk. Which was when I was trying to think when was the last time I had conversations like this, and that was probably 12, 13, 14, 15 years ago. Because like now, if you're out in a group of people, there's always someone on their phone.
There is.
There's always someone just distracted by something. Like to go back, can you imagine going back with your mates now and telling everyone
What I
to
mean?
leave your phones over there, we're just going to have a pint, just sit down, just talk.
And just
No
chat.
distraction. That never happens now, does it?
Yeah. You're itching, sort of like pick it up and I'll just check my Facebook or I'll just check my WhatsApp.
What were we talking about before? About you? Because he doesn't really watch films.
All right.
So
yeah.
if I said here's these top films I recommend, they're all amazing. I'll take him to his house and they'll sit on the side and they'll just gather dust till about if I go around a month later,
I'm
they're
a
still
big
there.
film guy myself.
So when we had the movie guys on the other day, they were talking about various films and it was very passionate. And he was like, "Oh, I want to go watch some films." So
I go home and watch some films. I watched like 2, but then as I got halfway through the second one, I just got my phone out and I was
not even thinking about it. You just
halfway
just do
through and
it.
I realised why I don't like films anymore.
I looked up and the credits were on. I was like, oh.
I've done that before though as well. When I'm in a big conversation or something over WhatsApp and I'm chatting away to someone trying to, right, we'll do this and we'll do that. The next minute, like bloody Iron Man's beat boss or something like that, and then the credits are running. I'm like, what?
But what I mean is, I don't think you can have this level of conversation if you're not paying attention.
Oh no, you can't. No, I know
So
what you mean.
I think on a regular basis we're not. I find I'm not. Like
Well, people do it in relationships and everything, don't they, these days? Like
Yeah.
you got two you go out on like a date or something like that. I mean, even me and my other half are guilty of it at times.
well, once
like,
you've been together a while,
well,
you know.
that's it.
you know what it's like.
Gets a bit dusty.
But how many, if you've been in a restaurant, how many times have you seen a whole table and they're all on their phone? I've seen like parents.
I've
kids,
never seen it around my way like as such,
Oh,
but I've seen it in Manchester and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
well,
you know, like
like,
these proper.
why have you come out? You could just
Yeah.
do this exactly what you're doing now at home. I just
Do you sell vegan meals?
don't get me started. Fucking veganism. I've got nothing against veganism and anyone wanting to do it.
No,
but
it's
it
just
just
how
seems
much they shove it in our face.
it's the trend thing at the
I
minute.
know it is.
It's the trend thing, and I've got a thing against people being assholes.
Well, people, it was like vegetarianism when that first came out.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
just doing it because it's like the hipster in cool thing to do. It's like, let's go vegan. It's like, why? I don't know. Everyone else is doing it. Let's go give it a try.
Seen the meme on Facebook of like the leaf in the toilet of when a vegan takes a poo.
They get a lot of stick, but it's like that's society at the moment. It's very trend based.
Oh God, yeah.
Based on what
it'll
other
never
people see
change,
other
will
people
it?
do.
You know, there's some will replace that, and some will replace that. And
It's the
then,
same in music as well, I suppose, isn't
course
it? A
it
trend
is.
comes through. It doesn't happen so much these days, but when, say, grunge came through, it's like, okay, let's sign up every single band who sounds just like that. Now, quick, sign them all up.
yeah, that's it. You know, but this is it. Like I said, it'll never change. You know, it's all the way through time. There's been trends. There's been like little bits of this and little bits of that. I'll do. People are sheep, aren't they? Sometimes,
For
you
the
know?
most part, yeah.
you know. And then there's one or two people who do the thinking, and then everyone
just
just goes
follow.
"Ah," and cracks on that. You know, so
But,
you know.
that's the way we are now. And I think social media's got a lot to say for that.
I totally agree with that. Actually, to be fair, I think it makes people lazy.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
it makes them think less, I think, for themselves.
It does. And when they know something's a little bit, you know, anything like, you know, when even if they feel it's wrong or something, that they still crack on. You know what I mean? Like with it, that.
Or people just recycle other people's opinions.
Oh what?
People just recycle other people's opinions.
Oh God,
through
yeah,
themselves.
that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Or like
I
the whole.
see it on comments and stuff.
Hey.
Bless you.
But I see it on comments and stuff like that. You know, and I like read through it. Like, say if someone, you know, so many likes for this child or whatever, you know. And I see some of these comments and stuff, and I look at them and I think, like, how are these some of these people that manage to get through life? Do you know what I mean? Like,
See some people, you go, how do you pay your bills? How do you like do stuff like that?
do you know how to speak? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
It's mental, but we're always going to have it. There's more people now than there's ever been, so
well, that's it.
there's
Just
going to be more,
getting
there's gonna be
worse
more
and worse
idiots
and
than there's
worse.
ever been. But it's always Manchester, the biggest city near to you then?
Near to me,
Yeah.
yeah. Near to me.
Do you go
Because
there-
it's
do you go there?
London, it's London, isn't it? Then it's Manchester in England, basically.
Well, yeah, the Southerners that go. Well, we're even worse. We don't even exist. they think it goes Manchester, Scotland. There's a big line just after Manchester.
Well,
Nothing
That's
there.
what I mean.
Scotland.
You can't see that because of all fog on motorway and stuff.
And all the lakes.
I will going through it. I'm like, ooh, I don't like this.
Because you've played the Brickyard a few times, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's probably our.
I always noticed every
favourite
time
venue.
we played Brickyard, it just got so much colder up here. Absolutely freezing up here all the
Yeah, it does
time.
get
And I
colder.
just like, whoa, I can't believe it. Honestly, we're like daggers going into your bloody body. They were
Until
unreal.
you get there.
Well,
That's
right.
alright.
Like everyone else is like, well, all you lot will be wearing vests and stuff. Like,
'Cause we're odd. And we're idiots. It's like I was watching the Newcastle game last night. Like, there's always the line of Newcastle fans with their shirts on. Just have to have it.
what pissed up?
Yeah, no matter what.
with
In
beer
fact, these guys,
coats
to be fair, these lads were quite like just normal lads. Usually they pick on the biggest, fattest guy.
Yeah,
It's like,
they do, yeah.
He must be a Newcastle fan. He must be. You into your football?
I am, yeah. I'm a Wigan fan.
Wigan.
Yeah.
Is that technically where you're from?
Well, technically, yeah, Wigan Borough, isn't it? But
Ah,
I'm from a town called Inley.
Right.
But you know, like he's still Wigan Borough. You know, he still qualify for being a Wigan fan there as such. That you know, so
You ever watch them?
I used to own a season ticket a few years back, to be honest. But like, obviously through music and stuff, it started
Shot
getting
the
a bit
time. And money.
It's a pain in the ass, you know.
It's not a cheap
but
hobby, is it?
I love going football. I miss it actually. To be
Yeah,
fair.
me too.
I really miss going football because we set off with all lads and stuff, and then we'd go in revs, and in revs they have these fantastic shots.
That revolution.
Yeah. And they got these like tea and biscuit shot and stuff like that, and chili shots and this shot and that shot, and we just
This
get
is
a
before the game.
before
Oh,
match.
yeah. I
And
was going to
then-
say,
and
I
then
thought we were talking about football.
Well, it's,
Tell you what I like about football is going to the club and there's all
Look at
these
some
shots.
And girls dancing on the table. What?
you can always find time for a shot, can't you? Like, you know. But when we crack on, there's great shots, and then obviously we'd travel to match, and you know we'd watch football and stuff. But just having that atmosphere and stuff
Yeah.
around you,
I
like
had
you
the,
know,
when I used to. I'm from Newcastle, and when I had the same thing when I used to live there. You can't beat that kind of
you
routine.
can't
It's the
going
routine
through,
of it.
going through
on Saturday.
gates and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, that was one of them things we had to be conscious about as well. Like, you know, with my voice if I was singing or something.
Yeah, that's
like,
true. Aye.
Day after or something, and I'm like, fuck off, ref.
It's usually,
and all that
me,
shit.
it's usually shouting at the ref. I was going to
Yeah,
say that's when you put
right.
that's when you put the most venom into it. You fucking-
Will you open your eyes?
and then you get home and you watch a match of the day. You go, yeah, that was a foul actually. Yeah.
It's funny, dude. Oh no, he's getting a point there. Actually, to be fair,
You have to be a bit more sort of level-headed when you watch a match of the day. You go, yeah, you deserve to be sent off. To be fair,
it was an awful.
I think I might
challenge.
email the ref and apologise.
They do get a lot of steak referees. Though,
Oh, I
don't
would
they?
not want that job. Jesus. Especially like the female like linesmen.
No,
female
I-
linesman. I just said.
No,
Linesperson.
But the thing is, they get so much stick. But at the same
God.
time, though, I mean, I feel for female community and stuff like that when it comes to it, but it is pretty funny sometimes. Like,
Well, it's banter at the end of the day, but yeah,
they
some of
shout
it's
some
funny. But
horrible stuff sometimes, don't they? And you're like, that's a bit too far, lad.
definitely. It must be horrible. Like you even think
just
like
start
about
charving them, don't they?
just because they're a woman.
Yeah.
But that's the same as like what black players have. Like sometimes I still can't believe that.
No, I know
they have to
that's
go through that
that's
these
a lie,
days.
isn't it? This is
I saw Ian Wright on there's actually a podcast called the True Geordie podcast, and Ian Wright was on that, and he's done a documentary which I forgot what it's called, but I haven't seen it yet. But I'm going to watch it about him talking about coming through as a black player back then versus how it is now, and there's actually a lot of black players on it talking about their experiences as well, and like just the fact that in 2019 that we still have to talk about it.
That's it. That's it.
It's ridiculous, but for him, he's become sort of like a spokesperson because he's been through it all, and now he's like people approach him asking, "How did you deal with it?" Sort of thing, you know?
Well, there's a few of them like Vieira and stuff like that got it all, didn't they? And that's all Campbell and like back in that day. You know what I mean?
But at the time, a lot of them, they didn't do it. Nothing was done about it.
No.
They talk about it now because other people are coming forward about it. But I can't even imagine what that would be like.
No, it's not nice that being mocked for something that technically you can't change.
And doesn't
or
make
do-
any difference
no,
whatsoever.
No, it's just you're bringing up something from the past that's been dealt with properly now, and it's like I said, it's just not. It's mean, isn't it? It's
I
just
think
a horrible thing to do.
Attitudes are slowly changing, though. I think
I think
people get ridiculed more now for being racist
Oh,
than
God,
obviously
they
the people
do.
who are being the subject of it.
They do.
That's
They
changed.
do. That's it. I mean, anybody can be a racist on both sides of things, but
Absolutely.
when it's like I said, when someone's at fault, they should be sorted for it. To be fair, you know what I mean. And
There's banter, and then there's
there is.
taking it too far.
You just try and cause misery to someone rather than.
Yeah.
You
It's
know.
like the hooligan side of it. People
It
go
is.
into matches just for fights.
Oh, it's
that
just
was
a bit of
something I couldn't-
banter, mate. No, it's not. You're a boy.
I was shocked when I first saw that. When I first started going to Newcastle matches, when I was probably about 7 or 8, back in the mid '90s. It was when Kevin Keegan took over. I was like,
Kevin
I was like, who's Kevin Keegan? I've never heard of him. But obviously, I started going just at the right time. He did quite well then. But yeah, like then I found out about the people going to football matches just for fights, and I was like, what?
It's crazy.
I
It's like,
can't-
have you seen the film Green Street?
Yeah.
That's what I mean. That's
Yeah.
stuff like that. Football Factory. They did these things, and it's just like it is barbaric, isn't it?
Do you remember
Really,
that?
just to go for have a fight.
Do you remember that documentary that Irish guy Donald McIntyre did when he went undercover as a Chelsea fan? They're called is it the Firm? I think they're called.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
And it was like, and he went undercover and he had like hidden cameras on him, and he actually got Chelsea tattoos, so he would look authentic. And that he infiltrated that gang, and he was like, he went to some of the matches when they were in fight. He's just like, I can't believe this. I thought it was like a fake. I thought it was like made up. I was like, this is real, and it's shocking to watch.
The other apparently there's one. I've never met him or anything, but apparently every football team's got one, and even Wigan's got one. Apparently,
It was like Millwall was like the famous one. They had the biggest reputation
Well,
in
it's every
Chelsea and
time
all that. But
Millwall and Chelsea play, isn't it? Yeah.
But
That's
it- like,
but
when-
people get stabbed and everything.
die. It's
Yeah.
like over
Overall, a game of football.
I know, it's like,
Come on.
let's all settle down. So what you said gaming? You like gaming as well?
Yeah.
So Xbox, PlayStation,
No, I'm a big fan of PS1.
right?
I love PS1.
We're still back in '96.
Yeah,
Right.
I love the PlayStation 1.
I
I've
have
never
to
got
agree.
over how good that gaming system was. You know,
Yeah, we all
I
had
mean,
one.
I love PS2 as well. These new ones now, they sort of I don't like this how this online play is just like sort of like taking over every single game. Whatever happened to you when I was picking up a game when I was younger? I picked it up.
When I were a boy.
When I was a young lad. There was none of this. But I picked it up because that looks like a good game. I'll play that. You know, that looks. I've read back and that looks good. But no, you buy these games and it's like a never-ending game. You know,
the online side of it, like Call of Duty and all that.
It's silly. Like
I think
Battlefield.
one of them, I don't know if it's Call of Duty. One of them only had the multiplayer. There was no campaign. There was no single player.
That's my point. But like you don't play games. They're like books, aren't they? Just like a film or like a book, or you play it because it has a start and an end.
A story.
Yeah,
I like both, but I do like have you played the Batman games?
Yeah.
Like proper, just single player.
They were great. They had a proper story to them. But that's what they're lacking a lot of games these days. Good quality storylines like Last of Us and people like that. I loved all them games. This is why I've gone back to my old sort of generation, not PS1, because some of them titles are still like.
Well, everything's a rehash of them, isn't it now?
Yeah, they're technically being reused, and they're still holding their own through this new.
Oh, you get the emulators and all that. Yeah.
You
still get
like
the little
Metal Gear Solid and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
What a game! It was amazing.
I think I had a PlayStation 1 because there wasn't really an alternative at the time, was there? Because that was before the original Xbox.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, technically, because Xbox.
I went to
Xbox was on par with PS2. Yeah,
because I went from PS1 to Xbox, and I've stayed Xbox ever since. But it'll take some beating that original.
Oh god, yeah.
Like, do you play Doom?
Yeah, I love Doom.
Oh,
Doom was fantastic.
I remember the summer holidays when I had, like every night just going to my friend's house and doing System Link.
System Link.
You can only have two of you. You couldn't even have four.
Just two.
There was like 8 of us taking turns with this days on for hours and hours.
I know that new Doom that came out. That was
2016. Yeah, I like that.
That was so good. The
That was really
tunes
good.
on that game, like
There's always the music of games. Did you play Quake back in the day?
Oh no, I didn't play Quake.
That had a heavy metal soundtrack.
Did it?
Some of it was written by Trent Reznor.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
If you look at Quake, definitely. I don't know about Quake 1, but Quake 2. If you look it up, the music for that, some of it was done by him. But it's all like heavy metal, kind of like it goes with the game really well. But that's actually what we were talking about the other day. Music that goes with films, like games as well. That's quite important, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like do you remember Resident Evil?
Oh, I love Resident Evil. I completed Resident Evil 2 a few days ago, something like that. But again, it was on PS1 version because I downloaded.
But the music has a lot. Doom as well. The music sets the.
It does.
I remember playing Resident Evil. But yeah. Middle of the night, fucking shitting yourself.
Yeah, that's it. You're still jumping out your skin with them, like, you know what I mean? But like with Resident Evil, the idea behind the game was obviously to have them camera angles, so then you couldn't see right corner.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's what apparently I was reading up on it, and they could only have 7 zombies at one time,
right.
on a sequence sort of thing, and that's what made you feel like. Well, I can't deal with this. Like, you know what I mean? That's what made it look like a horde rather than just like a couple of zombies, like on the first one. But like Silent Hill and all that. All these games, like I said, they're still holding their own.
Yeah.
In front of some of these new ones, like I thought some of the new Xbox 360 for me, that was a breakthrough.
Yeah.
But I don't think Xbox One's done anything for itself properly, and I don't think PS4 has.
Well, it's the games themselves, isn't it?
Yeah,
they're not enough
brought
originality.
Any decent titles.
Yeah. It's all the franchise, isn't it?
Just 360.
Call of Duty 27.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like on 360, you had like Gears of War, you had
Halo,
you had Dead Space, you had
and then Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah,
came over to that as well.
That's
Things
it.
like that.
They had a lot. You know what I mean? So there's not enough firepower on these new ones. That
would be good if you got to a level as a musician where you could take your PS1 with you on tour.
You can't you on your phone?
Oh, I suppose you can. Yeah.
You know
Didn't they bring out a little tiny PS1?
They did, but the reason why they're doing that is because people are going into this retro gaming thing because just for the exact reason for what I've just said. Because there's no titles these days.
Yeah.
So they're going back to the youth to relive these old titles again because they're practically brand new again. You know what I mean? And I was watching a video on this, and Nintendo, you know, this guy put a spin on it, and it was silly, to be fair. And he said, like, well, there's Nintendo know now that they are letting us know that they have not forgotten these titles, and they have not forgotten this. And I was like, no, they're not. They're just clearly they're jumping at the fact that someone's utilising their gear and not paying for it. So they, you know.
What does it say? The next best seller after sex is nostalgia.
True, though.
Well, you think about it, like music, all the nostalgic music that takes you back, games, movies,
films. Yeah, definitely.
It's huge. It's like, I don't know, what are some of what was like your most nostalgic songs that you remember from when you were growing up?
Probably this one by Chad Kroeger. They did for the Spider-Man film. The very first one.
I remember that one.
Hero.
Hero,
Love that song.
Yeah.
That one, yeah. That was quite a nostalgic song for me. And things like Fade to Black and stuff like that by Metallica. And I loved all that. I thought that were great.
So you were born 91?
1990.
1990?
Yeah, 1990.
Right. So I can remember grunge when it came out. Like, 'cause you were born right.
Yeah.
Just about then. But that's the last, obviously new metal as well in the early 2000s, but that was the last one I remember, like, the whole world changed when grunge came out. When when Nevermind came out and It Smells Like Teen Spirit, it just opened a whole door for the next. Like I was saying about record labels.
I don't remember any of this. Me, to be fair, like you know, like, up till 2000, like, and it's hard to believe that. I think when did he die? Kurt Cobain. No, was it
94?
94. That was it. You know, it's
I was
hard
14.
to believe at 2000. You know, when I was sort of my
I'm
brain
left-handed
technically
as well.
developed a bit then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sort of thing. You know, it was only 6 years ago since Kurt Cobain sort of like passed away. Like, you know what I mean? So I would have liked to possibly have lived through some of those years. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so. But yeah,
because 94. It was also when Green Day came out with
things
Dookie
like that.
as well.
Apparently, they played in Wigan. Green Day.
Did they?
Played in Wigan at the beer engine.
What's the biggest venue in Wigan?
In Wigan, well, probably a minute. It's called Courts, isn't it? Well, go-in venue, like, you know what I mean, for a good sound and a decent crowd and stuff. But they played at a place called the Beer Engine, which is now a Chinese. And my friend went watching them, and he said he saw them all backstage, sort of thing, and he was just supping his drink, like, and he saw them all, and they were all like, we're Green Day, you know, doing a fist pump, like, together. Apparently, that's what they would do. That's what they did before gigs.
What was the first gig you ever went to?
Deep Purple, I think.
Wow.
Deep Purple, yeah.
That's a good first gig.
Yeah, I went straight to Deep Purple at MEN, actually, yeah. Yeah, that was on, I think it was Rapture of the Deep tour.
Wow. How old would you have been?
I was about 17 at the time.
Then
I watched them I watched Deep Purple quite a few times after that. I got a bit bored of them.
Which is the band that you've seen the most?
Probably Deep Purple.
One of your favourite bands?
I do like Deep Purple, yeah. I could say that name over and over again.
Deep Purple?
Deep Purple. Yeah, I love Deep Purple, actually. They're one of my favourite bands again, in that other list I said earlier on. Just because I sort of like diverse they can be. You know, I mean, Ian Pace is the drummer. Wow.
I know.
Unreal. And the fact he had a drum off with Chad Smith, is it, from Chili's?
Oh yeah.
And Chad Smith did all this like giving it all that out funk anyway. And Ian Pace just like grabbed hold of his ear and went sort of thing, as if to crank himself up, and fucking wiped the floor with Chad Smith.
I love stuff like that.
Oh God, he was very good.
What's your favourite gig you've done so far as for your own gig?
Myself, Steelhouse. I loved Steelhouse.
When did you do that?
Back in, it was 2000 and was it 17 or 16? One of them two, 17 or 16. I can't remember which
Festival.
one it was now.
Because that's outdoor, isn't it?
Yeah, it's outdoor in Wales. Yeah.
And it's always very well attended.
Oh God, yeah. We had we got second slot. But it's just because of that. They had a runway and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool setup, isn't it?
Good to have something that
Yeah.
makes a big difference to your performance. You know, when you've got something like that, you know, at your disposal, you know, I think
Make the most of it.
every single one of us sort of utilised.
Oh yeah, you've got to it. Yeah, what's the point? Stand in the back going,
You know, like every time, like, you know, like sort of skidding along.
yeah. Your knees.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I've burnt my knees. on this corrugated iron. Do you remember when you first started in bands? When you first started getting some good photos of yourself?
I suppose, yeah. There was a photo from a band from ages ago. This girl photographer, she wouldn't leave me alone, basically. Honest to God, she never stopped bloody murdering. And I got so sick of her one time, right? And she said something to me, and I just got a bit temperamental, and all that, because I thought I just wanted, like, sort of like, just leave me alone for a minute, will you? And she just switched round. And she went, cheese, and I'd switched round, and I had a face of thunder, and I just sort of went, and it was dead mood of this photo, but it was sick. It was
Came out, and you were like, "Ooh,
it was so good." I was
I'm
like,
actually scared of myself."
wow, that's a good photo. I was like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I needed a Morpheus coat or something like that, like whilst it swang round and stuff like that. So I was proud of that one. But
That's something else you learn as well about photographers. When you you get loads of photos of yourself in your own band. I find a lot of photographers go mental when you first start.
yeah.
So that's always a good time to sort of do a lot, because then
Oh,
they
yeah,
go,
well, that's what
and
they
then
do,
sort
don't
of
they?
settle down and go, wait.
Well, there's a reason for that, because they try and get all the photos in the first 2 or 3 songs.
Yeah,
don't
that's
they?
true. Yeah.
So then
Yeah.
they can sit and watch Gig.
Yeah. Put the camera down, right? Take another one. He's all right. But I think we'll wrap it up. We've done 2 hours.
2 hours, that's a long time.
But
Here's me hoping for an early night. But
no, I appreciate you doing it, man. I've just wanted a chance for you, because you've been out of the limelight for 6 months or whatever it has been. I
yeah,
just
something like
thought your
that.
fans would want to know what you're up to.
Well, I mean, I try and keep them updated as much as I can.
Yeah.
But, you know, all you need to do is like keep an eye on my page. You're welcome to message me personally and stuff if anyone's listening who wants to know a little bit more.
Yeah.
You're not prying on any
No.
personal time.
But that's why I wanted to have a good chat like this, so you can tell your story properly.
That's it, yeah.
Not
So there's-
snippets, you know what I mean?
There's 2 bands coming, and
I suppose you haven't got a bass player, so I was going to say, how far off are you announcing the other one? But
I'm hoping that, like I said, this fella's going to be all right, to be fair. But, you know, but like I said, if there's any bass players out there, you're welcome to get in touch with me. And
look out for Regresion.
And look out for Regresion, the Spanish band as well.
We'll put a link. We'll put this link to their Spotify and YouTube in our
Yeah.
show notes for people to check
Yeah.
out.
I won't be singing in Spanish. I will be singing in English, just to make that clear.
Yeah, that's going to be quite a challenge.
It
How many songs?
not too bad,
How many songs have they
actually.
got?
They've got a few, but it weren't too bad. I just picked out the ones that I thought, yeah, that works. They've got this one called Déjame Sonar, and with their language, it worked really well.
What does it mean?
It means come with me.
If you want to live.
That's a good one.
Come with me if you want to live.
Sorry.
Get to the chopper. Get to the chopper.
Benny! Dylan!
See you at the party, Richter.
Who's your daddy and what does he do?
And these are your lunches. Stop eating them.
Stop your whining. Anyway.
So, but yeah, 'cause it means come with me, basically. And I think it meant come with me on one sentence, because, like I said, that Spanish language, sometimes it changes it up.
Right.
And on the other one, it meant let me dream.
Right, okay.
But the tune just really worked well, and there's like keyboards in this Spanish group and stuff, and it brings another element to a group. I've never worked with keyboards before or anything like that. So like a song like you write on your guitar would sound like a metal song, but then all of a sudden you switch it to a piano and play that riff. Or that
You're
piano.
quite a good piano player as well.
I'm a decent one.
I saw some videos.
Yeah, I'm
You
not.
know
I'm
what
not
you're
like
doing. Singing and playing.
prolific or
Yeah, but
anything.
singing and playing at the same time.
It was difficult.
You did a good job, man. I was impressed. I was really impressed.
Because I did the Journey one as well, and that took me a while. I'll pull my hair out with that, but
You got quite a soft voice sometimes when you want to.
yeah, I can tone it down, but I mean, I can turn it up when I
Quite
feel
versatile.
like it. You know,
I'd never, cause until I saw that, I'd never saw that side of you, 'cause
Yeah.
obviously normally the
Well,
folk rock stuff.
I like singing the ballads as well because I can get a bit more in touch with song,
Mm.
you know. But like I said, this
So this band could give you a bit more creative freedom to sort of flex your
wanting-
muscles. and-
that's what I'm after with them. To be fair, you know, and like I said, the guy when we're doing these writing sessions, it's working. I like it like this, and I'm happy with that, like, with the way it's going at this moment in time. So all is
Exciting times.
good. All is good in camp, Anthony.
Antony Ellis, thanks for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yes, I'm gonna go and get a chip in.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.